Yeah, I mean, one of the things I did, and like I told you, it's really with this chamber, and I know a lot of people when they get in a situation like that, like if you've ever been in a network meeting or something like that, it can be unnerving. And I had a guy that really helped me out. His name is Jody Underhill, and he's like, he used to be a business consultant, and he is really, really good at sales. And what he said is, when you go to the meeting, he goes, don't sell anything.
Right.
He goes, don't even go there, and you don't even want to even try to close a deal or get a potential client. He says you go there and you ask questions.
Right.
And you'll be surprised that if you go there and just without the mindset of selling, how easy it is. So I'll go there and I'll just start talking to people, and the first thing I'll say is, what do you do? And they'll tell me how long you've been doing it. Oh, well, if it's your business, how'd you get into it?
So let's do some role playing here. Let me go back a few years, and I just opened up my game store, and I mean this. Like, I remember the guy who I rented my place invited me to the Chamber of Commerce. I never went, but let's say I went. I mean, young guy, I'm walking around this room, and I run into you. You seem friendly. I'm like, hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going? How's it going, Mike? My name's Joe.
Hey, Joe.
What do you do? What's your business?
Craziest thing, I actually, I just opened, this is going to sound like a little crazy, but I actually just opened a game store. I just said, it's right down Rio Hill Shopping Center, and I just opened it up, and, I'm straight out of college, and, I have a passion. I used to be a pro card player. I still do it a little bit, but I just opened a game store, and, it's funny here, because I'm at this meeting, I am so freaked out, because I just opened this store. And it's like some people come in and stuff because I'm right next to the TJ Maxx. I put it right next to the TJ Maxx because I want to, I don't know. I remember when I was like a little kid and my mom would drag me to the fabric store and I'd freak out. I'd be like, why am I at the fabric store? I hate this. I just wish there was a game store right next to me. And so I figure all the game, if the moms take their kids to the TJ Maxx and the Ross that's right there, the kids will just drag their moms over to the game store and make sure that they can just stay at the game store. And, I mean, that's kind of a good plan, but I just realized, man, I mean, this is a small town, Charlottesville, 100,000 people. If every single person in Charlottesville comes and makes one purchase in my store, I'm going to go under. And I just got to tell you, man, I'm kind of freaked out.
Well, that was a lot. All right, yeah, well, usually, Mike, when you kind of unloaded a lot on me there. But usually, like, what'll happen is people will talk to you. They'll say I open a game store, and then then you kind of could get in a little more dialogue. But say if you told me all that stuff, I would just say, wow, it sounds like you're pretty new to opening your own business. Is this the first business you ever owned?
Yeah, I traded some cards on the side. The cards I sell, can be, pretty valuable. They can go from being a penny a card to $1,000 a card. So I did some card trading, and then just went straight into opening the store. And yeah, so I mean, really, actually, this is my first business. I delivered newspapers.
Oh, well, that's good. What do you like the most out of the game store? I mean, I know you have it as a kid, and it was probably a dream of yours. But what really motivated you to open a game store?
I'm glad you asked that. I think it really, like, when I was a little kid, I mean, I just love games, and I'm really passionate about them. And I just feel like there's no good game stores. And, whenever I was a kid, I'd go to stores, I'd go to a comic store or a game store, and the owners would be so mean to me. And I hated it, like, they'd always, like, look at me like there was something wrong with me. And I was just so immersed in their whole world. I thought it was so cool. And so I just wanted to have, like, a good game store where kids could just come and hang out. And I figured if I did a really good job, made it really mom-friendly, that who knows, like, someday it could grow really big, or I could franchise it or something like that. So that's why I did it. And really, it's the only thing I know how to do. So that's why I did it. I can't have a job. I don't know. I just can't do a job.
I know what you mean. I've never had a job. But and that's great. I mean, your perspective on it is really, really good. I think you got something there, especially being personable, because a lot of times in business, people aren't that personable. Let me ask you this, Mike. I talk to a lot of people throughout the day. What's the best referral for you? Like, what's the best kind of person I can refer to you?
Well, I mean, the best, I have this mom named Madeline, and I have this friend named Jason, and they, at this point, realistically speaking, bring me most of my business. So this mom, she's got a couple of kids. I think that she does it because she just wants her kids to have friends, but she, like every Wednesday, she'll like drag in a new friend with her kids to introduce me, and I'll just be sitting behind that counter kind of cleaning or doing some books or something like that. And that's really great because then I've got, a new mom. I've got, I'm thinking about doing this elementary magic league where I'll sign kids up and get them to pay me a couple $100 to teach them how to play this game, Magic the Gathering. And I think it's a really good, mental sport. It's a really good mental exercise for them. And it's a lot of fun. And once they get introduced to it, they really like it. This guy, Jason, he brings his high school friends in and, kind of drags them into play. And, I wish I had 100 Jasons and 100 Madelines. I mean, that would be great because realistically speaking, I think I'd go under if it weren't for them right now.
Oh, well, I run into some tutors and some other teachers in sometimes in line of work that I do. And
teachers would be great. I would love that. Like teachers to tell their kids, just come to my store. I would love that.
Yeah. So no, I'll definitely keep that in mind. Well, it was nice talking to you, Mike. But I got to get around and start talking to some other people here.
Wow, that's it. I just want so much more. I'd be like, come back.
Well,
I feel the takeaway.
Here's why I did that. I'll tell you why I did that. And it might be just because we're role playing, but when you go to,
I feel like I bored you. I'm like, no, come back, Joe.
Well, what happens is, like when the whole point of going to these meetings is you're trying to establish a strategic alliance. So the people you meet at these meetings, you don't always necessarily want to sell to them. You may never sell anything to them. But what you want to do is you want to set up another meeting with them to let them know about your business and their business and how you can help each other.
Yeah. So this is like trading. Like what you're doing is like the same fundamental principle behind trading. Like when I was card trading, like it was all about figuring out what do I have, what's it worth to me, what do you have, what's it worth to you, what does he have, what's it worth to him, right? So like, what resources do I have, what's it worth to me, what resources do you have, what's it worth to you, and the more you do that, you find out that this guy has something that he doesn't value very high, you really want it, and I make that trade, and that's how I make my money. And in the same way, it's like you're figuring out what everybody's needs are and what their strengths are, and you know your own strengths. Is that right?
Right, yeah. And you also want to find someone who you can work with, right? So like I'm talking to you, and you gave me a whole list your business, and you were excited about it and everything else, and I kept asking you questions, and you answered, and I even kind of led you in, like, hey, I run into some people sometimes in my line of work. Yeah. You never asked me what kind of work I did.
Oh,
never
that's
asked
true.
Me what I did.
I was so rude. I'm sorry about that.
No.
Come back, Joe. I'll ask you about your business.
But what usually happens is a lot of times when you meet people in the chamber, right? You want to sit down with, you want to try to make 2 or 3 contacts, but you want to make contacts with people that are going to help you out as much as you can help them. And I find a lot of times if people don't ask me about my business, then they're not going to refer me, and it's a lot about them.
That's great. So what if I ask you? Let's rewind. Let's give Mike a second shot at that conversation. So what do you do? What's your line of business that you run into all these tutors and teachers and stuff like that?
I help new businesses and businesses who want to expand and grow get new clients.
So how do you do that? I mean, do you have like a radio show or something?
We do that through positioning and marketing. Let me give you an example, Mike. Let's say that your business is on the busiest street in, say we're in San Diego, busiest street in San Diego.
Sure.
And every car that's driving by, they're looking for a game store.
Right.
And you have the biggest building on that street with the biggest sign.
Yeah.
For your game store.
Right. I'm going to get everybody.
Right? So that's what we do for people when we position them and market them online.
Oh, you do it online. So you're like some tech nerd.
Well, it's a lot more involved, and because we're at this event, I'm really trying to mingle with people, and I don't, this conversation could take a little while. How about this? How about we set up a time where I could learn a little more about your business. I could tell you a little bit more about mine. And we could meet maybe for coffee or something. This
is killer. I love this, dude. Joe, this is killer. Yeah, I mean, sorry. Like stepping out for a second, I love how you do this. Like this is really, it's really something, because what I did was I really pushed myself into the state. I mean, I definitely regressed like 15 years there. As I was being the Mike Longo, because that's what I was like back then. I mean, I was like freaking out. I was like, what am I doing? I have this game store. I have no idea. I have a lease. What do I do? And everyone seems so big and so big and important to me, and I just felt like I was like nothing. Like I had like nothing to offer anybody, because I just had this like little game store over in the corner over here, and like everyone was this big successful business person as far as I was concerned, and that was that's how I was back then. Nowadays, obviously. Things are a little bit different, but really that's how I was back then. That's how I felt back then. And it was actually pretty easy to put myself in that mindset. Like I felt like everyone was like the grand wizard of everything. And it's funny because a lot of people are new business owners. They have that perspective. Now, what's it like? What would the conversation have been like if I had been a little bit more of a silver fox? Maybe I was let's say I was in real estate, and I was a little bit more of a savvy hand. What kind of things would I have done differently? If I were to reverse things, like let me be you and you be like somebody who's like a little bit more experienced, a little bit more savvy. Can we do that? Can we flip the script? Can I be you?
Yeah, we can do it. I mean, usually I really all I do is I just ask those questions, and kind of at the end, I just leave it hanging like that.
I love that. I want to try doing that. I'm excited.
I do it because really you're not expecting that.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm positioning myself as it's like you're in a dating niche, right?
Yeah.
So it's like what makes a girl want you? Well, you don't give them everything at the first shot. You have to leave a little mystery there, or
sure.
And it separates you from everyone else at the place.
Sure, it really does. Okay, so let's just try this a little bit. I'm just curious how this will go. So you'll be Mike. I'll be Joe. So hey Joe, I'm Mike. How are you doing? What do you do?
Hey Mike, I'm a real estate agent here. We specialize in short sales in San Diego.
Oh, short sales. So you like kind of broker deals with people who've gotten in over their head a little bit?
Yeah. We find people who are, we try to find people who want to do a short sale. And we have a group of investors that will buy, they'll buy the house for them, and it works out pretty good for them and for us.
Yeah, I mean, that can be such a tough place to be. How did you get into that? Do you have a real estate background, or how did you get started with that?
Yeah, I've been investing in real estate for about 15 years, and when everything was booming, I opened up my own agency really just to sell my own properties, and then when everything crashed, we kind of reevaluated and got into this short sale process. So it's been working good for us.
How are you getting your leads for short sales nowadays? What are you doing to get new leads in the door?
Really, it's just word of mouth. Word of mouth, and we kind of talk to people, and people that we've helped before maybe will refer us, or we have different contacts with some loan agents and things like that.
I actually know some loan agents. I'm kind of curious. What are kind of the best the best kind of people who can refer? Like what's your ideal one or two people who refer you the most customers? What are they like? And because maybe I know somebody like that. Kind of point them in your direction.
There's two people that are really good for us. One is accountants, or help us out pretty good, because a lot of times they may have clients that are underwater, and you'll be surprised, but accountants will refer us, and loan agents will refer us sometimes. So it's really those kind of people really will help us out.
Huh? Oh, that's really good.
Mike, what do you do?
Well, actually, I help people position their business. I help them, gain visibility and get a lot of attention that they're looking for. If you can imagine, that I know the economy is a little bit different now, but let's say that you had a real estate office on the middle of Main Street, and it was a time when everyone was looking to buy or sell their house. It was just the economy was really up for it, and almost everybody driving by in their car was like looking for that, and you just had the biggest, shiniest building right there, right in the middle of the street, just looking nice and big and juicy, and just said Mike's real estate right there. Then as you can imagine, you'd be getting like a lot more business. That's what we do. We do it online.
It sounds really interesting. I don't do a lot of stuff online. What would you do for a business like mine?
Oh, I would absolutely love to get into it because I'm fascinated by what you do. Right now, I have a friend over here that I said I'd meet up with, and I want to catch a cup of coffee with him. But I'm loving this conversation. How about we exchange business cards? Maybe we can, instead of a meeting, sit down over a coffee or a glass of beer, and I can explain a little bit more about what I do. I really want to also know more about what it is that you do, and the kinds of people that can help you.
That sounds great. Sure.
So is that the rundown? How did I do it being Joe? Like what are some of the things I could have done better? Critique me.
Well, no, I mean, you did good. You asked the right questions, and
I felt a little nervous, just so you know, like genuinely felt like a little bit nervous being you and stepping into your skin. But no, but it was fun for me. I got to tell you, I've never. You said that I'm good with words and stuff like that. I've never considered myself to be a good salesperson. I really struggled as a waiter. It was the hardest job in the world for me. I really disliked it, and it felt really bad to me. And I've never felt like particularly good at face-to-face sales. So it was kind of fun. It got me a little bit out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, you sounded good. You did sound nervous, but the beauty of it is, or I could say it and be smooth, somewhat, because I've done it so many times.
Yeah.
But, and the biggest key to business or anything is when you go out and you talk to the first person, maybe you screw the whole thing up. Maybe you talk to 5 people and screw it up, right? But by the 10th person, you're going to have it down.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, especially with this business. And I blew so many deals, just from talking too much, until I finally got it.
I really like that. One of the things that we've been talking about recently, I started doing, because me and Greg and David have all these, Jason Clory, have all these Insanity and P90X sites. So, things that are ranked number one for like Insanity versus P90X. So anyways, I started doing P90X, and I was an athlete, just before I was a game store owner. I was a good wrestler in college and stuff like that. So I was really strong and good athlete and all that stuff. And I started doing P90X, and I was like, man, this is so hard. And I started thinking about how hard it would be for other people as I got started. I used to do 74 pull-ups, and now I can do like 4. And now I'm back up to 6, actually. And I got to thinking about, I don't know if you're a fan of the NFL, but if you're around OMG for a little while, you'll hear me say this. There's a really famous sports story this year, a guy named Adrian Peterson who blew out his knee, and he came back the very next year, this last year, and became the MVP of the entire NFL despite having reconstructive knee surgery. And I was watching some interviews with him, and he really just had this great comeback attitude. And I feel the same way about you, Joe. I feel like you really made a big comeback. And I think that that the anatomy of a comeback is always the same. I think that it has to do with your attitude, and it's a mixture of two things. It's a mixture of being humble, not beating yourself down, and not phony humble, but truly humble, where you know what you've got, you know what you're working with, you know where you're at, but also a real aggression inside of you to improve, a real ruthlessness for improvement, and really going after it. You're saying, like, I've got what I've got, and I want to get somewhere big. But right now I am where I am, and I'm just going to relentlessly keep going and going to improve. And I feel like as you've made your comeback from from losing your investment portfolio and really taking that dive between $200,000 and $300,000, I really feel like you've made a big comeback. And I feel like it's kind of funny, because if I was thrust into a world of having to make face-to-face sales like you, I would have to deal with that. Like, I would have to, because one of the things I could think is, oh, I'm bad at this. Oh, this is hard. But it's a lot like, it's like with any muscle. When I first started working out again, I hadn't worked out in years. You know, for somebody else starting P90X, maybe they've never worked out. Maybe they're coming back from an injury, or maybe they've done another workout and they've just kind of plateaued and they feel kind of stuck. And in the same way, you know, what you did was you said, look, I'm not strong at sales, but I'm just going to keep going and going and going at this and start figuring things out. And I just want to compliment you on that, because I really do feel like, it's weird to me, I feel like you're this old hand at this. Like, you're really, really very good. How long have you been doing this now?
You know, since I really started doing it, was 2011, you know, 2012 really, like probably February 2012 is when I really...
So like 1 year?
Started hearing, yeah, about a year. I mean, I've been doing internet marketing probably a year before that.
Uh-huh.
But really my business started to grow. And, you know, it's interesting, like, to get back with the chamber, right? So and this actually happened to me, was how I got a client was I met at the chamber, I met a videographer. And, you know, we sat down, we talked, and he actually, from that meeting, referred me to a carpet cleaner. You know,
okay.
One of the biggest carpet cleaners in San Diego.
Yeah.
And I met with that carpet cleaner, and I didn't get the sale, you know, whatever. I screwed up somehow. But the carpet cleaner said, hey, I know another guy who does mold, you know, and I'll refer you to him. And he referred me to a mold guy, and I got that deal. But what I did down the whole line was when I met with the video guy, like, say I was going to meet with you and you had your game store.
Yeah.
You know, well, say we met at a coffee shop, I'd say, hey, Mike, listen, I blocked out 45 minutes for this meeting. You know, will that work for you?
Yeah.
And, you know, so I'm setting the time, I'm setting the pace.
So this is like part two. Can we do part two? I love this. I know I'm beating you down. I'm the hardest person with an interview, because I always come with all these questions, all this curiosity, but I really am so fascinated. So now we're sitting down at Starbucks.
Right.
And are you comfortable with that? Are you comfortable with just a tiny bit more role playing? We won't flip it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I mean, like I said, I might come out of character if I get a brain fog, but
yeah, but I think this is infinitely valuable. So we're sitting down now at Starbucks, and so the first thing you say is what you said. I've blocked out 45 minutes.
Yeah, so I say, hey, Mike, good to meet you. I'm excited. I blocked out 45 minutes. I'm running a little tight schedule, so, you know, will 45 minutes work for you? You know, is that too much time?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much for your valuable time. I really appreciate that, Joe.
Oh, all right. Yeah, great. So then now usually when I'm sitting down with somebody, the conversation goes different ways, right? But
right.
I'll just be like, so Mike, you got that video. I was looking kind of at your game store.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed, and I'm just making this up. I noticed you had a website.
Yep.
I actually, it was kind of hard to find, but I found your website.
Oh, wow! Where'd you find it? Most of the only people who come into the store, they ask about our website, and we hand out a business card with the website address on it. So that's usually how people find it. Yeah.
Well, it took a little bit of searching. You know, I looked in the city, and I looked up your business name, and I was able to find it that way. Um, but you know, it's a nice website, but you know, did you ever think about putting a video on there?
Putting a video. Actually, this is kind of interesting. I can go to the Wayback Machine and pull up my old website.
And I'm kind of just, I mean, they don't all go like this, but it's just
yeah, but that's really great. I actually really like this Wayback Machine. So it's called theendgames.com. Theendgames.com. Hopefully this will still come up. And let's go all the way back. You can see it goes all the way back to 1999.
Wow.
So let's go to 2000, see if I got anything up there. You can see my screen, right? Now it's showing Domino's Pizza. What's that about? Yeah, I hope it'll show it. Sometimes these Wayback searches can be a little funky.
Yeah, they don't show the whole thing.
All right, here we go. Looks like a bunch of broken image tags. Let's try one more, see if we can find a different one here. April 2000. Oh, here we go. All right, so this is when we had the Flash version of it. That was a disaster. That went nowhere. But I just hired different people. It kind of goes to show. So I could say to you, yeah, we tried a Flash guy. Okay, so this might have been what my website looked like at that point. This is like a little bit further on, but it's, you know, it's an okay looking website. No video? No, actually, I've always thought it would be really cool to have video, but I don't. You know, how do you get a video? Are you talking about like YouTube, or how do you do that?
Yeah, you know, a lot of times when we do it with some with my clients is we'll shoot a video of their they kind of explain a little bit about their store and about themselves.
Yeah.
And you can actually do this yourself.
Oh, wow.
You know, and actually probably for a game store like yours, you know, you don't want the video to be too hyped up or too fancy. You can actually, you know, probably take your iPhone, or you probably got a video camera.
Sure.
And
actually, I do. Yeah.
You know, when people come to a website or when they're looking for something, you know, they're really, you know, there's a few questions that are in their mind. You know, how do I know, you know, that you know what you're doing? How do I know you're not going to rip me off?
Okay.
You know, how do I know that, you know, how do I know that I'm going to like what you have?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, a lot of times when people shoot these type of videos, they'll be like, "Hey, my name is Mike Long, and you know, we have this game store, we're the best game store in town, blah blah blah," and it's just an advertisement.
Yeah. How do you get around that? Because I wouldn't know what to say.
You know, sometimes what you do, you say, "Hey, you know, I'm Mike Long. This is the End Game, and you know, we've been here for, you know, over a year. We have a lot of moms that come in, a lot of high school.
Oh, I like
students,
that. Yeah.
A lot of high school students that come in, and we've had, you know, thousands of customers come through our door, and you know, we try to make the experience good for everyone. And you know, you just talked a little bit about you know, the experience they have, and how they can, you know, you just put a little trust in them, and you don't really sell. You sell without selling, but you make a connection.
I love that. I love what you're saying. Also, as a separate aside, stepping out of the role playing, I love what you just said. I think that's freaking killer.
Right.
So okay, so if I start saying like, wow, you know, like now I feel a little bit nervous on video and stuff like that. I've never been on live video, you know, for this kind of thing. Do you have an example that I can look at, or have you done this for somebody else where I can see it?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I have some examples of some clients of mine we've done that for, but and I could send them to you, but really, you know, even though you may be nervous, and maybe take a couple of takes of it,
mm-hmm.
but it's more natural too. You know, it comes across more natural. It comes across more. And people really relate to that. Like, for example, say you're looking for a dentist, you know, and you're on page, you know, you pull up page 1 and you go through all the websites there, and they're all kind of stock photos and they're all kind of the same.
Yeah, sure. There's like
this,
really cheesy, generic looking sites. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. So then there's one dentist, and he has a video.
Yeah.
And in the video, he's talking about stuff, and he's talking about kind of what he does. You almost feel like you know him already.
Yeah, for sure. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'd like that much more.
So, and I could show you some examples. I actually have a dentist that, we shot a lot of videos for him, and it was just him sitting in his office. He's a holistic dentist, and he was just talking about, mercury and fluoride and the dangers. Yeah, and some of his videos get thousands and thousands of hits.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and it's
thousands of hits.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And really, when you make a video, one of the things you want to keep in mind, like you can make a video for your website, or maybe you have a YouTube channel, and people who are looking for games. There's certain buzzwords that you can actually put so your video will rank for that. And
rank where?
You never know.
Where would they rank?
I missed.
Sorry, where would they rank?
Well, like say you put a video together on a new game that came out, right? And maybe you have I don't really know enough about your business, but maybe you're going to sell the game, and you make a video. I see you got something here on. I don't know if this is a game or not, the Apocalypse or Plane Shift. And so you say, hey, Plane Shift, what you need to know.
Yeah.
Or Plane Shift cheat codes or something like that, right? That people are going to want to.
Yeah, people would eat that up. Yeah.
Right.
So that'll show up on Google?
It could, more likely it'll show up. It could show up on YouTube too, and then that way you get a little buzz around, people start watching it. I mean, it gets a little complicated, but that's a couple of things you can do.
Wow, I would really like that. I mean, you said you have a service. Like, how much do you charge for your service? Because I think that could really help my website. I think that the people coming to my store would love that, and I don't know how to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I do have a service, and I could kind of get that in. I can get into that with you and kind of show you what I'm doing. Can you hold on? I get this cat's in here.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh.
Take a brief intermission there.
Awesome. That's working at home.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, but it really is. It's such a pleasure having a home really be your home base. You can have little distractions in the background, but at the end of the day, you're home, cuts your costs, and it's just great. You're home.
Yeah. I took my kids to school this morning. I'll pick them up. Usually, I'll pick my son up from kindergarten. So no, it's really nice.
Yeah, definitely. So, yes. So if I asked about, how much it costs, that's where we go.
Going back, what I was trying to get at with that whole role play is what I'll do sometimes is, say I meet you, you're a game store, right? And you probably don't have a lot of money.
Right.
You probably really couldn't afford my services.
Right.
Right? Because I'm going to charge, I can't do it for really cheap.
Right.
But what I can do is I give you a lot of information.
Yeah.
That no one's ever told you before.
Absolutely.
And I don't care if I make any money off you, because I know that you're going to be my advocate.
Yeah.
You're going to be. I'm the educator, right? So it's called. There's an educator advocate.
Yeah.
And so I'm the educator, and I educate you, and you become my advocate.
Because that's going to both get you traffic. It's going to get you leads, and those leads are going to be pre-sold on you. So
Right.
It's combining both the traffic and the conversion elements of your business get combined into one right then and there. So you're empowering a salesperson who's also going to be a lead generator for you.
Right. So, there's so many people going to be coming in his store.
Right.
And you're like, oh, yeah, I know this guy. He knows everything about that.
Yeah.
And
or where, how did you get this video on your site? Well, I'll tell you how I did it. Joe showed me how to do it, and you should talk to Joe. And people feel genuinely grateful. I remember the first time I went shopping for a house, I didn't wind up buying the house, but I referred 5 or 6 people to share. I still remember her name. Her name was Sharon, and this was like 15 years ago. I still remember it. So it really is. It's a really powerful emotional thing. And once you're set up in a small town, you have these people. You're really setting things on your side. When it comes to this stuff. Now, when it comes to places to meet people, where are you meeting people? Is it mostly these Chamber of Commerce's and small business meetings, or are there other places that you're driving traffic?
I basically do a lot with the Chamber, and there's referral groups. There's some, like in San Diego, there's quite a few. I mean, if you just type in referral meetings or business network meetings.
Let me do that. I'll pull up Google here, and we'll have a look at that. Just 1 second.
There's also, I forget the name now, but there's, what's it called? Where meetup groups.
Yeah. Are you talking about like meetupgroups.com? There's also stuff, I see a fair amount of people doing stuff also with like LinkedIn and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't. Well. Yeah, I'm pretty simple. I don't do a lot of that, but I find a lot on the referrals, and because like with Chamber, you don't even have to be a member. They have these mixers, and you can just go as a guest, and sometimes there's like a couple hundred people there, or
That's
100,
crazy.
Depending where you're at.
So this is the San Diego Referrals Incorporated.
Right.
They've got a whole website here. There's San Diego, SanDiegoBlog.com, San Diego Business Group.
Right. See, so there's all kinds of business groups.
Yeah, and then there's Chamber of Commerce. Commerce.
Right.
San Diego
B&I groups are big across the whole country.
What are they called?
B&I groups.
Okay, let me see that.
And it's a big. It's more of a. It costs a little more to join, but the whole idea of the group is that they refer each other. They really focus on
what kind of internetworking. It's sort of like a fraternity. Yeah, I'm seeing this BNI San Diego.
Right. Yeah, so the whole idea behind it is you're in a group of like say 20 people, and you have to refer people and like it's a really like it's really intense, but they'll let you do like a 30-second introduction, and then you get like a 4-minute thing to explain your business. And what's amazing about marketing online is when you really tell people get ripped off so much.
Yeah, they do. It's an incredible thing. Like it's one of the things that we see with OMG all the time is that everyone thinks that they've heard it, and I'm like, no, you haven't heard it. Like you can just be number one for a number of different things. It's crazy.
And especially like with local businesses, every dentist, they get bombarded, and the people I've worked with, they've spent thousands of dollars, and they're sick of it. They don't want to hear it, anymore. And because but when you get into a referral situation, or when you do what I did, you're the guy that knows this stuff. So it separates you. Yeah,
you're like a wizard. Like everyone else is on a different plane than you, right? Like, because you're like, there's two sides of lead getting. One is like all the ways that they're doing it. Local stuff, print ads, magazines, local magazines, newspaper ads, maybe radio spots, TV spots. Whatever their organizational situation they have with getting referrals from their friends or whatever. And you're like, yeah, you got that, and I've got the internet. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah, and too, they say like, and a lot of people will go in a situation, they'll say, man, I just don't know enough.
Right.
I don't know enough. But there's a saying, this guy Jack Mize used to say, he said, in the land of the blind,
the one-eyed man is
king, right?
Yeah.
So you know tons more than all these other people. So anything you say, most of what you say is going to be, make sense to them.
What are some of the biggest objections that you run into, and how do you overcome them?
Hold on, let me get my screen blacked out here. A lot of times the objections I'll get is I got a guy who did that and couldn't, or they'll say I have a web guy.
Yeah.
Or they'll say, I tried it, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, like it didn't work for me.
Yeah, or it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. Um, and a lot of times, like I had the one guy who he was actually that mold client that it was that situation where I spoke to him for an hour, blew his mind with all the stuff, all the tech stuff, and he had a web guy doing his SEO. He was paying him like $1,600 or $1,700 a month.
Right.
And the guy was doing nothing. The guy ran a couple of free press releases a month, and that was it. And he wasn't doing anything.
Right.
So I had given him this whole layout. In the end, he just said, well, my other guy, he's going to do...
Yeah, I'll take the devil I know over the devil I don't.
Right. So, and so what happened is I met with him on if I remember, I met with him on a Thursday, and he says, well, I'm going to think about it that Monday. And so on Thursday, what I did is I knew I had kind of blown that meeting a little bit, and I knew he was a little skeptical.
Right.
If I can do what I said.
Right.
So, and I don't know if this is legal or not, what I did, but it's not. I mean, it just, I took one of his videos. He had a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I downloaded it off his YouTube channel, and I put it on my own YouTube channel.
Right.
And I ranked it. I started ranking.
Right.
And by Monday he called me. It still wasn't ranking, right? And he said he's going to go with the other guy.
Right.
I said, that's fine. He says, you want to pay him a bunch of money to do nothing for you. I mean, he hasn't done nothing for a year, but I kind of took the approach of, I always try to take the approach of, I'm so busy, that's okay.
Yeah, sure. I
said, by the way, I said, I started ranking a video, my team did, and if it happens to get on page 1, it's because of what we were doing to it, or I forget, something like that. I said, but I made it like it was my team, and it was only me. I didn't have a team.
Yeah.
Right. But so that Monday, it was like that, or was that Tuesday? It showed up on the bottom of page 1.
Yeah.
So I texted him and said, hey, your video's on the front page. And he texted me back, I'll call you in the morning. Well, the next morning it was number 1.
Nice.
And so he said, so he called me up. He said, wow, he goes, I've had so many people tell me they can do this stuff, and you've actually done it.
That's so cool. And with video, it's so easy to rank, especially for a local term. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah, it's not that hard. It's a lot harder it's a lot easier than a website.
Yeah.
And so when I talked to him, he says, he starts going, oh, I really want to use you, but this other guy, he's going to reduce his price, blah, blah, blah. I said, look, the guy's name is Gabe. I said, Gabe, don't worry about it. I said, because I called 2 other mold guys, and I told them I could put their video where your video is. So I got appointments with them on Thursday and another one on Friday. I said, so you can keep going with your guy. And, he turned around, he said, no, come right in. And I closed a $32,000 deal that way.
$32,000.
That's it. It was whatever it was like $2,000 a month and like $7,000 or $8,000 up front.
Wow.
So, yeah, and because I showed him some proof. So, and
these businesses, they have ad budgets to spend. Just because they plead poverty doesn't mean that they don't have ad budgets. They're trying to get people in.
Right. And here's a trick too, is a lot of businesses have made these videos.
Yeah.
Like there's a company called Turn Here. Like if you YouTube, I think it's Turn Here, you'll find their website. And on that website is all these local businesses. And a lot of those videos have 1 or 2 hits.
Right.
Right? So you can I think it's Turn Here Films.
Is it Turn Here Films?
It
says 1,300 videos. It's incredible.
Right? So you can take some of those videos, and you can either, if it's a higher-end client or if it's in a niche you want to do.
Yeah, this is Turn Here Real Estate. There's just a bunch of videos, but a lot of them, some of them have some significant views. Like this one has 1,000. This one has 600, 500. So some of them have a decent number of views, 20,000. But some of them just have a few views.
Right.
100.
Usually, I haven't looked on this in a while. but what I would do is I would find, and there's a couple other sites. I have to get the links to you, but there's some sites. If that's even, that might not be the right. Turnhere.com, yeah, and there's some sites that just deal with lawyers, and they'll make videos, and then you could actually take some of those videos and you could rank it.
Yeah.
Or you can just tell them, listen, or you can, if you send them an email or you get in touch with them and you tell them, look, I'll rank your video on page 1 and you don't pay me until it gets there.
Yeah.
And once it gets there, it's $150 a month.
Right.
And it's really a cheap, the 150 is just a lead in.
Right.
And then you can get, once they see you've done that, you can get the rest of their business.
So they feel really confident at that point that you can rank them because you show them some results, and then really, ranking a video can just be setting up the keywords right, the tags, and then a couple Fiverr jobs, and you can be on page 1. Just like nothing.
I mean, I wouldn't pick like a huge. Niche right off the bat. I wouldn't say I'm going to rank for San Diego real estate.
Right.
Because I'd pick something a little low key or just something that can really show them that you can.
Yeah, like find a real estate agent, El Camino.
Yeah, or like even in San Diego, like if I was going to do a bankruptcy lawyer, I'd do like bankruptcy attorney Carlsbad, which is a subsidy in San Diego.
Right.
And something like that you can do. But there's a lot of, there's different options out there.
Yeah, I love the technique of taking somebody who's already got a video and ranking it, or shooting like a quick impromptu video. You could even do it at the appointment where you meet them for the coffee or whatever, and just say, hey, I'll show you. I'll just take a brief 2-minute video of you, ask you a couple questions about your law firm, and I'll sling it up on YouTube and do it right then and there.
Yeah, and you could even do, like I've done, which I was telling David about, it's a website called Sparkle, and they actually make they make hand-drawn doodle videos. It's like 14 bucks. It's Sparkle. It's SPARKOL.com. SPARKOL.com. Yeah, SPARKOL.com.
Yeah, this is an amazing service. I saw some of your YouTube videos that you do this way, and it's brilliant. And these are like $20 for just quick doodles, right?
Well, it's $14. It's $14 a month, and then you make the videos yourself.
Oh, cool.
But I have an outsourcer. She does it for me in the Philippines. But you can find people on Odesk to do this.
Yeah.
For really cheap. I think there's
even
a guy
what price?
that makes them for $40.
$40, wow.
Yeah, but if you're going after, like if you're say I want to get into the dentistry niche and I want to find.
This is huge. What a great resource just to have a line drawing video like that. $40. You built that into the cost of things. You show them another line drawing video and say, I'll make you a line drawing video like this. Boom, you get it up. I mean, it seems like a thousands of dollars production thing. They've probably seen TV commercials that are like that. Yeah,
or you even rank it and then you offer it to someone and like Greg was saying on one of his office hours, you rank it and you lease it out, or if this guy don't want it, this other guy. And what I'll do is I'll actually put a tracking number on it, and I'll send the
right, because you can make it for an 800 number, and you can reroute that 800 number just like that.
Right, and what a lot of these services have is what's called a whisper, which is when they pick up the phone, they'll hear Joe's leads, and then someone saying, "Hey, I need a plumber." And then after he gets 3 or 4 calls, say, "Hey, I'm Joe.
Yeah,
you get my leads.
Yeah,
here's you want to lease his video."
Yeah, it's just very powerful, very very powerful.
And so it's that's a great way.
Yeah, I love that. I've seen one of your videos that was like that. I thought it was brilliant. I got to tell you, Joe, I'm really blown away by the value that you provided here, and it's just incredible that the role playing, the walking things through. Can I ask you one final question? You said something in the videos that I really liked about deal structure, where you got a retainer, but then you also would collect a monthly fee, but it was all centered around, I mentioned this earlier, building assets and building their asset portfolio. Can you talk a little bit about that and what you mean by that? Because I thought that was so brilliant.
Well, like I bought and sold businesses and had businesses, and whenever you go to sell a business, the first thing you got to calculate is the assets you have, right? So normally advertising is an expense; it's not an asset.
Right.
So what I try to do is I try to tell people that, I call it I forget what I call it, something like my monthly marketing asset, my monthly marketing building asset plan.
Right.
I forget, but right, and so what it is I explained to them how we build
because
out.
That's so smart, because that's the kind of thing that business owners want to brag to other business owners about. Like, oh, you're spending money on the yellow pages. I'm building assets. That feels good.
Right. See, they're used to it's an expense, but now I'm turning that expense into, look, you're building your business because I build your asset and I rank it. That's bringing you in traffic.
It's literally saleable. Like having a video up like that's ranked #1, it's saleable. Right.
And then the way I work is I say, all right, so you got, and I tell them it's like building a house. The foundation is we get the foundation. That's the upfront cost, right? It's the foundation. It's getting your conversion right on your website. It's building the properties we need.
Right.
And then every month, we're building on that foundation by ranking your videos, by making new videos, by building articles, and all this other stuff.
Right.
This is putting your information in hundreds of places on the web that are always going to be there.
Right.
So I said, if you spend $2,000 a month on pay-per-click, you stop your pay-per-click, the leads stop coming in.
Yeah, they're gone.
Right? So what I'm building is this stuff is going to compound on each other.
Yeah.
So you're just going to keep growing and growing and growing. If you go to sell your business, you can just how do you get your clients? You say, well, I have this whole system set up.
Yeah. And plus, realistically speaking, they're typically getting more than $2,000 worth of pay-per-click advertising out of this sort of thing anyways.
Oh, yeah. It's huge. And I actually have a dentist that it was the first website. Remember in the beginning I told you I built a website.
Yeah.
It was for dentists. And I built it, and I sent out like 10 emails. I got one guy called me. I met him, and he didn't want it, because I probably oversold or whatever I did. He didn't want it. And then I got in touch with another dentist, called me, and he took it. And you couldn't find them online anywhere. And it was really, they were real nervous about working with me. And the only reason why they did it was because I had ranked the site. They had been ripped off a lot.
Yeah.
They couldn't fill their calendar more than 2 weeks.
Right.
And it was, and they had a big office.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's a lot of mouths to feed.
And I think it was after about 6 months, they're booked out for 3 months. And he sold his business and retired after a year.
Holy cow! Wow.
So this stuff works.
Yeah. And you've had success. I mean, you've had. What was your first like when as you really dug into this stuff? Your first once you really hit your stride, your first month you made an extraordinary amount of sales. Is that correct?
It was like 100,000.
100,000.
It was for 2 months. In 2 months, yeah.
So in 60 days, $100,000 worth of sales, and that amounted to how many deals was that?
That was 4 deals.
So 4 deals, did they average about $25,000 a pop?
Yeah.
Wow, and that's wow. And at the same time, you're changing people's lives, and then now with NHB, like you feel like pretty confident about being able to fulfill, on any kind of an order at this point. Oh
yeah, I mean the stuff Greg shows is great. I mean I've been doing this, and I joined NXP, and I because you're always learning, and and you could with NXP you could fulfill you could fulfill it for sure, and even if you run into a problem, you just email Greg or get on the office hours. So no, it's really good, and the thing with me is when I do something, I gotta know that it's working.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to charge you $100, I got to give you $200 of value.
Sure.
And when I first started, I didn't know that I was actually gonna, I knew there's traffic and I knew that it can help people, but I didn't really know it was, so I was a little hesitant. But once, like that dentist and my other clients, you see how their businesses just
Blossom.
take off.
Yeah.
And you turn them around, and it makes you like, wow, it gives you more incentive to say, yeah, this stuff really, really works.
Now, in terms of helping them actually convert, do you have any tips for helping their actual websites make sales and get referrals and get people actually in the door?
I mean, I always try to have them put a video on the front page. I also have them get some video testimonials.
Yeah.
Real ones.
Do you help them with that? Because that oftentimes can really be frustrating for people.
What's that? Trying to
getting testimonials.
Yeah, you know how we do it. It is. It's hard sometimes. But sometimes people will do it if you ask them right in the office. But we'll run a contest, and depending on your client, usually they'll give something away like an iPad.
Yeah.
We'll do like a Facebook landing page, and what they'll do is they'll make a video. Hey, we're having a contest, and they'll have 3 ways to enter. They can leave a review on Google Local. There's a Facebook app where you can get reviews, and then send us a video testimonial. They send a video testimonial, they get like 3 extra tickets.
Oh, cool.
And on their website, they could download the video right on their website.
Yeah. And an iPad can be like $500. Like for a dozen or 2 dozen testimonials, that alone could easily be worth it for a business.
Oh yeah, and then you get Google testimonials too. And really, all you need is, 3 or 4. If you have 3 or 4 testimonials, what we usually do is we'll put on the front page kind of like a rotator box.
Yeah.
Watch our video testimonials.
Yeah. And
it'll rotate through different pictures with a play button, and when they hit it, it'll pop up the video with all the testimonials.
That's killer.
And it's just more like proof, right? Because everything anymore is about social proof.
Yeah, sure. Testimonials.
So we do that, and then we try to do as much video as we can on the site, and as much personal stuff as we can on the site. I
love that. Well, I got to tell you, Joe, I think this was extraordinary. I think it was incredibly valuable. I really appreciate your valuable time. I know you know more about some other stuff, so I'm kind of hoping that I can track you down for a follow-up interview even the next few days. But I thought this was killer. I know at some point you got to go and get your kids, but we've already gone for well over an hour here, and I just want to know, this is one of the things that's made NHB very valuable for me and Greg and David. Has not just been the financial success of the program, but really, joining forces with people, seeing their businesses blossom, and working with them like, we're working with you right now. And we're just very, very grateful for this time that you've apportioned for us.
Yeah, no problem. Well, thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, definitely.
Being part of the group here.
I appreciate that, and I really do mean, like, if you're willing to do a follow-up at, sometime next week or something like that, I would really like to know more, tap your brain a little bit about local and a little bit more about what you know about video. I think you're a wellspring of information. Very, very valuable.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
all right.
We can set that up.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you so much, Joe. Take care.
All right, bye. Big Smile Dentist at 123 Main Street, and you spell out the word street. You have to spell out the word street
every single time.
Every single citation that you do it on. If you put ST, then you have to put ST on every single.
Same capitalization, same everything.
Right, same exact thing, and even the description has to be exactly the same.
So you're not going to get hit for duplicate content for the description.
No.
So this is somewhere where duplicate content really actually is, on your side.
Well, yeah, because then Google, when you put in exactly the same, then this is one way that Google knows that citation actually belongs to you.
Right. It signals to Google this all lines up. It's like all the holes line up, and it can pass the needle straight through.
Right, and then you also linked it. I also run some links to these Google local pages also.
Just 1 second. Jason Clory is calling me. I just got to tell him I'll call him right back. Hey, Jason. I'm talking with Joe Marfolio. It'll take me a little while. Can I call you back in a little while? All right, thanks, man. Bye. Hopefully I'll edit that out. If I don't, I'm sorry. Okay, so let's see here. So you were just saying that the citations all need to be the same. Now, is there a way of getting to all of those services at once in just one fell swoop? You said 300 services.
Well, I don't. What I do is, I do as much. I'll do maybe 50 at a time or 25 at a time.
You do it manually or with an outsourcer?
Like an outsourcer. I have an outsourcer that does it for me. Some of them, the more valuable ones are the ones that have more authority.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to do a phone call or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'll do those myself, but I just kind of do it until I get the results I want.
Got it.
And what's interesting is I have one client. We rank their video pretty fast on page 1, and their site was on the top of page 2. As soon as their site went to the bottom of page 1, they got the A spot in the listing.
Wow.
On top of Google.
So like coincided. Yeah.
It doesn't always, none of this stuff really, you can't say it's definitely going to do this or that, but because their places page or the local page was set up right and he had enough citations out there, then when his site got to the bottom, he went up to number 1.
Right. Right.
And the other thing is he had 2 reviews, right? And then one of the reviews dropped off, and he went back to page. Then he was no longer in the A spot. We got another review, and he popped back in the A spot.
That's crazy.
So
these fine-tuned differences really matter. Let's jump over to this personal injury attorney, Charlottesville. So let's take a look at Gary W. Kendall here, and let's say we wanted to. Okay, so this is his site, which I have opinions on, and you'll have opinions on too. But let's not look at his site anymore because that didn't feel good. We'll have to talk to him about that. Let's look at Gary's Google Plus page. So what would you recommend? Okay, yeah, let's talk about this. So what do we got going on here? You're like, oh.
let me just pull it up here. I'm going to get back to it. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, he hasn't done anything with this at all. He probably hasn't even claimed it. So, the first thing he would need to do is claim it.
Right.
Right, and then what I would do is I'd have him. Now, the back end of Google Local is the same as the Google Places has always been. Right now, they're in transition, so you can enter information in a couple of different ways. But once you get to the back end, what you want to do is you want to put in, make sure whatever his name is, Gary W. Kendall.
Yeah.
If that's his business name and the name that he's known as, then leave it like that. But if he's like
Gary Kendall and
Associates or something like that, then that's what you want to put there. You don't want to keyword stuff that, and you don't want to put you don't want to put Charlottesville personal injury, unless that's his true business name.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people do it and get away with it, but they'll also.
Well, I mean, anytime you do stuff like that, the clock is ticking against you. I mean, it's just silly.
And then all the work you did's out the door.
Yeah. So we gotta get some photos on here, video.
Yeah.
There's no description.
Right. So he'd have to put in his description and then his photos, but you want to make sure again the address is correct.
It sucks because this guy's really good. I know him personally. He's great. He really cares. I mean, it just drives me nuts. I mean, I know this guy's good. He's just a really good, caring guy, and he just has no idea. And I'm not saying this to embarrass him. I mean, he knows the law up and down and left and right, but Man.
Well, and then the other thing you want to do is obviously they give you a space to put 10 photos.
Yeah.
So you want to put photos in. You want to make sure you tag your photos.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Now, do you have any photos, JPEGs that you can pull up
Of Gary?
of anything?
Oh,
I'll
sure.
show you what you do to tag it.
Yeah, sure.
Just something on a file, just some JPEG.
All right, sure.
And
Let's see what I got here. I got a picture of the snow this morning. This is the snow this morning. Ha ha.
Oh, where is that? Wow.
This is today. This is right outside. This is the porch of my condo.
Wow.
Yeah, we got it today, and it's March. It's like almost mid-March.
Man.
We got hammered. Yeah. So okay, so how do I tag this sucker? What do I do?
All right, you're in a Mac, so I don't know. Can you right-click that or something to get to the properties of the picture?
Yeah. So like get info, I guess.
I guess I don't know. On mine, it's properties.
Yeah. So name and extension, preview, sharing information. Right.
Yeah. So there's. I mean, maybe I could show you on my screen. I don't know.
Yeah. Let me just make you the presenter. Just make you the presenter. No problem.
Let me pull up a picture here.
Okay.
And then.
All right. Let's see. How do I make you the presenter? Make presenter. All right, so I made you the presenter, so as soon as you accept it, it'll show your screen.
Okay, what I did, I think. Do you see my screen?
Yeah, I do.
Which one do you see? Do you see a bunch of pictures?
Yeah, I see a bunch of pictures.
Okay, so say for example, this picture here, oak and primed,
got it.
Whatever this picture is. So I right-click it, and I go down to Properties. And then in Properties, there's a tab that's the Detail View.
Yeah.
So say, I want, say just for Oak Stairs, right, San Diego, say I want to rank for that. So I put that here.
Yeah.
Subject, something about whatever the stairs. Put the different tags in here.
What would the tags be? Are they like keywords?
Yeah, keywords. And then you put like the related keywords too. So it would be, Oak Stairs, or whatever it is, whatever the keywords are. And you want to put this, I don't even know what that is, a semicolon, whatever. It's a dot and a comma.
Yeah, semicolon.
That's how you separate these tags.
Okay. So like Oak Stairs, semicolon could be Oak Stairs, Santa Monica, whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is. Put your city in there and everything else.
Yeah. Comments,
just put a couple of sentences here. And so what this does is it sticks your keywords right in the picture. And, right, and then you load the picture up into your Google local.
And that stays locked in. That becomes actually a part. That picture then becomes rich with information.
Right, with the content. So
that's cool.
So then you put that all in here.
That's cool.
And then also if you're loading up into this, you put your information in here. There's going to be a place for videos, and even though it doesn't show videos here, you still want to put it in the back end.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me try something here, because I think I have some. This is I'm logged in an account that's I don't really use, but I think I have some listings in here.
Yeah.
Some old ones.
Yeah.
And I'll show you what I mean. So. Yeah, so let's go here to Leadfoot Marketing.
That's funny.
This was that was a name I had, but I didn't go with it. So, and I never did. So what you want to do is, you want to put, obviously, your name here, the correct address, your email, your phone number, description, categories. So you can add up to 5 categories.
Yeah.
But you want to make sure that at least one of the categories is one that Google
recognizes.
Suggests.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. See, they'll make suggestions.
Like interior design or whatever. But
right. So at least one of them should be a suggestion.
Okay.
And if all the customers come to your business location, make sure you click that. But if you're a service business, it's very important that you click this.
Okay, got it.
Because if you don't, like say you're a carpet cleaner and you click this, then you can get your local page taken down.
Yeah, sure.
Just because of that.
Sure.
And then you go to the distance from here, or you can list the service areas.
Got it.
So, you can do either one of those. And then here, and then this is where you have the photos and you have the videos.
Right.
And then you can just put some more information in here, even though it's not going to show up. I usually put about 4 or 5 related keywords right here.
All right. So at that point, you're just kind of keyword stuffing.
Yeah, but it's kind of like details you want to know about your business. So, if I'm doing it on marketing, I'll put video marketing or. And
then what would be on the side of the colon, like video marketing what? Because I didn't understand this myself when I was looking at it.
I would put something like, I'd put video marketing here, and then I would put here I'd put the city name, or I'd put something similar.
Okay.
And I don't really go crazy with this. I just put a few things in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you can do something like this, like video marketing, and you could put, green screen videos, or like holistic dentist, right? I put holistic dentist, I put mercury removal.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, this is what he is, and this is what he does.
Got it.
Something like that.
Great. Awesome. That's very, very helpful. So then at some level, like actually getting the rankings, then like part of it's procedural and part of it's the citations, and then part of it's just flat out reviews that you're getting on Google Plus, Yelp, and these other review services. Is that correct?
Yeah. And then also, whenever you do anything like if I do some article marketing, even in UAW, I'll put the citation, the address at the bottom of the article. All my YouTube videos has the citation on the bottom. If I do social bookmarking, I'll put the citation in the bookmark.
Okay, and the citation's the same thing every time, the exact address and the exact description, same thing every time.
The citation, like for an article or that you're going to put in your video, it's really just the business name, the address, and the phone number.
Every single time. Got it.
Every single time. Where the description's more like if you're going to do, Yelp and Bing and Yahoo and Merchant Circle, where they actually give you an area to put in a description.
Now, if somebody doesn't want to give away an iPad to get reviews, are there other ways that you know of?
Yeah, I mean, you can just do it like where a desk could be like if you have a business where people coming in to you, say, listen, we'll give you we got a special right now. We need some video reviews. Can you give me just like a 30-second review, and I'll give you $10 off your bill or something like that.
Okay.
And what you do is you set up, and a lot of times when people want to leave reviews, they don't know what to say, and they get tongue-tied. So you just give them a few, I just want you to say this, how was the service? What would you like about the service?
Yeah, would you answer these 3 questions? Yeah,
exactly. And it makes it so easy for them that they just do it. Another person, what we did was, he ships things out. People don't come to his place, but what we did was he sent out an email. He said, hey, every video review I get, I'm going to give out a $5 Starbucks card.
Right.
and so that doesn't cost that much, and he got enough for he got enough video reviews.
And you just need enough, and then that's just going to put you over the top. I mean, like
Right.
other people are just not going to have video reviews.
Yeah.
And by the way, one of the things that you can do is you can just have a service where you go to that business. It's almost less frustrating for you just to stand there for a couple hours, have their customers get in, and get the frickin' thing done yourself. Like, at least when you're getting started. I would do it. I don't have a problem doing it. Like, I'm not above it. Like, if I wanted to get,
Yeah.
something taken care of, I just often find that just rolling up my sleeves and doing it myself is more satisfying. I learn something doing it. It gets done properly. And you have to understand that it's like we talked about yesterday. Word of mouth really, really matters. Referrals really, really matter when it comes to your business.
Yeah, and a lot of times, like customers, we never had a problem getting video reviews because if they're happy, they'll do it. If they could save a few bucks, all they gotta do is talking to this thing. It's fine. They'll do it. And really, if you had 5 video reviews, most people aren't even gonna watch all. They're gonna watch the first few and figure, the first 2 or 3, and they'll usually satisfy them.
And where do you put those video reviews? Where on YouTube?
I'll put them on YouTube. I'll put them on their website. I'll rank them for different terms.
Yeah.
So and that that helps out a lot. Like I could show you this because this guy, he sold his business, so he's not even working on it. I mean, he retired, but his site's still up here. And you'll see right here, he's got this video. It's like a box that kind of...
Yeah, it's just a text box. It's a widget text box.
Yeah, it just kind of feeds through different...
Oh,
different
I love...
reviews.
Yeah, you talked about this yesterday. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah,
And then if you click on it, it takes you to some reviews. So, I mean, that's all it is.
And this is LaytonDental.com.
Yeah.
Great. That's great.
Yeah.
That's very valuable. Very, very, very
Yes.
valuable.
He's a different kind of dentist. He's a holistic dentist, and this site gets pretty involved. It's a pretty big site. But
That's funny.
yeah, but that's one of the things that ways to do it.
That's killer. That's killer. I love that. That's very, very valuable. Okay, now what about ranking videos? Like you have a whole strategy that you use for ranking videos. What is it that you like to do?
All right, I got a video here that I'll show you. Now this video isn't. I just kind of put this video together.
Yeah.
So it's not, if you want to rank for local, it's it's a lot easier than something like raspberry ketones.
Yeah.
In this video I just scraped, it's Dr. Oz talking about this ketone. But if I was going to rank a video, say for your personal injury, for Gary Kendall,
yeah,
I would put here in a title, personal injury Charlottesville.
Yeah.
Right, and I would in the YouTube videos, you can at least it's always worked for us. Is we can stack the keywords, meaning we can put it in there twice. So for personal injury charlatan, and then I'll do something related. Accident attorney charlatan or something like that.
Charlatan, yeah.
I'll put like a related term.
Right.
And a lot of times if I can fit it, I'll put that, then I'll put the number, then I'll put the other term.
Oh, you put the phone number in the title. Oh, I bet.
Yeah, because when it ranks, what they see in the search engines is they see the keyword and the phone number.
Oh, that's killer. I love that. That's killer. So it just pops right up there. That's valuable.
Yeah.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to put the citation, which will be the business name, the address, the phone number.
Right now here's one thing. Before when you upload the video, it's very important that you put the keyword as the file name.
Yeah. Yep.
So don't upload it like whatever JPEG. It's you name that file, personal injury attorney Charlottesville.
Do you use hyphens or do you not use hyphens?
No. I mean, I don't know. I just name the file. I just type it in.
So it'd just be one string, personal injury attorney Charlottesville.
Yeah.
.mp4 or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, great.
Yeah, and then I put that in, and then what I'll do is like this: the description and the keywords I have done pre-done, like kind of in a text file.
Yeah.
Because if you have a channel that's that you've been uploading to, sometimes Google will your video could get crawled within minutes of you putting the video up,
Yeah.
and then it may take them a week to come by to crawl it again. So what I do is I have this all prepared in a separate document, and the first thing I do is my keywords are right here.
Right at the top.
So the first word I want is I want my main keyword.
Got it.
And then I'll put my link here. The description, for me, I'll do 300 words. You can do more, but usually I do 300 words, and I pepper the keyword in there, and a lot of related keywords too. Like
does this video rank? Because it's got a lot of views. It's got like 1,200 views.
Yeah, it ranks for some stuff. I mean, I haven't.
Because this is fast. I mean, it was published February 19th, which is less than a month ago.
Yeah, and I haven't really done a lot with it. I haven't done any linking to it or anything yet.
No linking at all?
No, not yet. No.
Wow.
It was like I don't know. I put it up here and actually on my outsourcer put it up, and I kind of forgot about it until I was looking for a video to show you.
That's funny.
So, and then what you do is you see here, this is actually the link back to the video.
So you
gave a link back to the same video.
And why'd you do that?
Well, because people will scrape YouTube for content and put it on their blog.
Oh, that's funny.
So when they put this on their blog, I'll have a link back to the YouTube video.
That's sneaky. I like that.
So, and then here, I don't usually do this. I just stuffed it with a bunch of odd keywords.
Yeah.
I mean, because I was kind of experimenting. But say if this was a local business, I probably wouldn't put more than 3 keywords right here.
Right. And
so the last words you want are the keywords.
Now, if you did fire some links, how would you do it?
I kind of have a sheet that I follow. So when I do linking, the first thing I usually do is I'll do some really good social bookmarks. And, there's all different ways to do it, and the way you do it kind of changes. But I use OnlyWire, and there's actually a Fiverr gig that they'll do 40, OnlyWire is a service, right? They'll do 40 do follow high PR bookmarks.
Right. So
I start off with that, and then what I'll do is I'll put this on, I'll get a Fiverr gig, or if you have Traffic Geyser, I don't even know if they're around anymore, but I'll put this video on say 30 or 40 other video sharing sites.
Right.
Like Metacafe and
Vimeo, Dailymotion.
Right, and what I do is I put that video in, and I put the link to the video.
Magic Submitter, they're still working on it, but Magic Submitter, I think, will actually do the same thing as Traffic Geyser now. I think you can do video submissions on it.
Yeah, so something like, and then what you do is the link that you want to use is you want to link back to this video.
Right.
Because for some reason, YouTube really likes links from other video sharing sites.
That's funny.
So I'll link back to this video. Then I may do some more broader social bookmarkings, and another good thing to do is article submissions.
Yeah, like UAW or Magic Article Submitter.
Yeah, UAW, and there's a guy on Fiverr. He'll submit it to, I don't know, like a lot. I think it's like 1,200 or something article directories. But what I do too, which makes a big difference, is the more places your video is embedded, the better it is. And so I'll take UAW and I'll embed the video in the article.
Right.
So now it's in, and that helps it out a lot.
And you'll put the actual embed code or just the link?
No, the embed code and the link. So, like with UAW, you can embed videos.
Yeah.
There's a section. So I'll actually embed the video and I'll put the link in there.
Yeah, I did that a lot with the mysterymethod.net. I have a ton of my videos embedded that way.
Yeah. So, we do that. And then also another trick is if you want to know some of the best keywords, is you can steal the people's keywords by stealing their tags. Like if you got like the top videos,
right?
Like this lady. Now Google doesn't show their tags anymore. I mean, you can see them right here, but another way to do it is if you go into the source code, you can find the tags.
Oh, cool.
To see. Hopefully it'll work. See keywords. So these are the tags that
raspberry ketones, diet, weight loss, diet, nutrition, raspberry ketones, max, health.
Right.
That's her.
So if you're in a niche and there's someone that's just dominating that niche,
right? You
can find out and they're making money. You can find their keywords. So that's one way to find their keywords. So anyway, yeah. And there's a few other, and then what we do is we just do kind of less is more. We do a few things, see if it works, and if that doesn't work, we do it. We do a few more.
Yeah.
More things.
Yeah, with SEO, I learned this lesson from Ken Giddens a long time ago before he passed away, and it's an old joke that he tells, but it's worthwhile. You may have heard me say this before, but maybe you haven't. Ken was really smart at SEO. He'd say, well, SEO is like this old story where there's two guys in the woods and bear comes along, angry bear, angry mama bear, whatever. And the one guy immediately sits down and takes off his hiking boots and starts lacing up his running shoes. And the other guy says, well, what are you doing, man? You can't outrun a bear. It's a bear. And the guy with the running shoes says, who said anything about outracing a bear? He's just going to outrace his buddy.
Right, I heard that before. Yeah, he's going to outrace your friend.
The idea is you don't want to if all you're trying to do is rank for, Charlottesville, whatever, cleaning service where it's just not competitive at all, you don't need the same stuff that you need to rank for NewYorkYankees.com. Or to beat New York Yankees for their own keywords or whatever. Like you just do enough and then you're number one and you stop.
Right. Yeah. And because you can throw a lot of money at it, and if you at first for one or two, it's not too bad. But if you're ranking 20 videos, you got to really. And if you have some of the services like Magic Submitter and you can do a lot of that stuff right through Magic Submitter or UAW.
Yeah.
And different things like that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that makes a difference is there's a site, and I know Greg said they're not accepting.
How did you got 100 likes on that video? How did you do that?
Well, that way I did this. This is what I did for that. So if you, Vagex.com.
Yeah, VAGEX.com.
Yeah, you can get all kinds of likes and everything else. But they're not signing anyone up right now.
Okay.
So what they'll do is they'll give you likes. They'll give you views if you want. They'll give you comments.
Got it.
So actually, this one, some of these, but see how these comments are pretty lame?
Yeah.
All right. So what I'll do is if it's a local business,
yeah,
I'll do these comments, and then there's a Fiverr gig where they'll post 10 comments, quality comments,
yeah,
and you can give them the comments to post.
Yeah.
So I'll go to Yelp, and I'll find some filtered comments, some filtered reviews
Yeah.
for the same niche,
Yeah.
whatever it is, say carpet cleaning, and I'll just copy those and edit them a little bit, and then those will be the 10 comments everyone is going to see when
Right.
they come to my video.
Right. All right. Got
You
it.
know, so that's another way.
Got it.
Um,
Yeah, because obviously comments are going to help. You know, likes and comments are going to help a YouTube video. And the thing is, you got to understand that YouTube is just dying for content. They're just dying for it. They really, you know, it just, most of what gets watched on YouTube is music videos, you know, or other pirated content. And just anything that has any originality, they want it so bad. You know, anything that's at least even essentially like completely copied or partially copied, what we call what's it called? Shoot, there's a term for it that's just commonly
pirated.
used. No, pirate is not the word. Where curated content, like
Oh yeah.
where you're basically taking something that's already published, but you're just giving it different context. That's what you're doing with this video. You're curating. You're just giving more context to Raspberry Ketone. You're taking something that's out there. You're taking a video clip, but you're adding an article to it. You're adding more context to it. Adding, you know, you're getting it spread to different keywords, and just by doing that, you really are adding value. You know, people find it and they like it. They're happy. So it's just you know, can be worthwhile that way.
Yeah, and this, like I said, this is just a video I kind of put up there as like as an experiment. But if I was really going to go after this, what I'd probably do is I'd make probably 5 or 6 videos on Raspberry Ketone.
Yeah.
I'd probably make it using that sparkle.
Yeah.
And I would I'd probably make them about 60 seconds, 90 seconds long.
Yeah.
And I would make the YouTube channel, you know, I would make sure that it's, you know, that's keyword optimized.
Yeah. Yeah, Raspberry Ketones would be the name of it. Yeah, it's really important to keyword optimize your YouTube channel if that's really what you're looking to do. If you're looking to be narrow, then just do it that way. And you just have to understand that with YouTube, they realize that the barrier to entry with just putting a video out in the first place is so high that they're really going to reward you. Like, if you do that, it's sort of like, what is it like? It's like, gosh, it's how do I explain this? It's like, I remember when I first started selling Pokemon, I could sell Japanese Pokemon cards that the kids just could not read. Literally, they couldn't read it. It just had the right picture for Pikachu or Charizard or whatever, and they would buy them, every last one, every last card that I had, at a premium. So it was worth it for me to fly all the way to Japan and buy Japanese Pokemon cards. The kids in my town and kids all over America could not read just because kids wanted Pokemon that much. It was just impossible to find Pokemon. And in the same way, you know, with YouTube, they're so starved for content. They're starved for videos. There's a million, probably 1,000 articles get put on Google for every YouTube that gets put out there, or it might be 10,000 articles for every, you know, because there's bloggers blogging and people spinning articles, and I mean, just all kinds of crap. People writing articles and posts on Facebook, and there's just such a small number of videos put out there that Google really incentivizes you. It's like with local listings. There's so little discipline and focus. I mean, you got this guy, I know Gary here spends boku bucks on his, you know, on Yellow Pages and on all this kind of stuff. And, you know, yet he just doesn't even have a claimed local page. So this is pervasive right now. Two real places where these are strategic hotspots where we can take advantage of them as internet marketers and we really add a lot of value. Local and video, and especially when you cross local and video, then you're really talking, because you just not much competition.
Yeah, and video converts really, really well.
Yeah.
You know, it's engaging. I think, you know, there's all kinds of reports, you know, but it really does converts really well. And another thing you can do, see, one client, what we did is we shot here, you know, I have a video guy I use, and we do green screen videos.
Yeah.
With an actor. Out here, I can get an actor for $50, for the day.
That's killer.
So we'll shoot, say 10 videos.
Do you have your own green screen set up?
Yeah. So I mean, it's not hard. I mean, you can get a green screen pretty inexpensive, and so we'll shoot 10 green screen videos, and they're all like a minute and a half. So we'll take that video. That's one video. Right. Then what I'll do is I'll take the audio from that video. I'll put a different music background to it. Yeah. And we'll make a sparkle video from that audio. Yeah. Then we'll take another one. I'll take that audio again. I'll put different music and I'll change the length and I'll make a PowerPoint video out of it. Then I'll take that same thing and I'll change the music and change the length and I'll make Powtoons is another like type of video you can make, and we'll make one of those. What's it
called? Powtoons?
Let me see, Powtoons. Yeah, and so from that one video, I get 4 videos.
Yeah, it's killer.
So like where I'm at here, with my clients, we try to rank for the main city and then all the sub cities in San Diego. So if we want to rank in Carlsbad, Vista, Escondido, these smaller cities, we take that same audio and we'll make different videos out of it.
That's killer.
We'll set up, and the key too is you do have to set up different channels. I mean, you don't have to, but I like to set up different channels. So
yeah, different YouTube channels.
One channel will have all my Powtoons videos. The other one will have the live ones, and that way you don't have to worry about them being too close.
Yeah, I like that. And YouTube is playing under very different rules than Google is. They're much more lax when it comes to duplicate content, much more lax when it comes to keyword stuffing, spamming links, all that stuff. Don't be afraid. Like the rule with blogs is be safe. The rule with YouTube is be aggressive. And it's just a different. It's true though. It's just different. Like you're an NHB, so Greg is just as safe as can be with blogs, right? He's just careful. He's safe. He's just less is more. When in doubt, don't do it. When in doubt, be slower. All that stuff. But all those rules, you just flip the script on them. When it comes to YouTube, just go nuts. Go nuts. The spoils go to the aggressive in YouTube. It's how I have millions of views. I just have millions and millions of views on my videos. I have millions of views. I'm sure you have hundreds and thousands, if not millions yourself, Joe. And it's just easy. It's falling off a lot easy.
And you do want to be careful with some stuff though, because it will shut your channel down.
Sure.
But it like that, like so, like for me, like you may if you change the music and you may be able to put it on the same channel. But I would definitely, if you're gonna repurpose a video, I would, I'd put it on different channels with whole different names and everything like that. But you can shoot links at it. You can do all kinds of things to it that you could not do with your website.
Yeah, you'd never do it with your website. Yeah, that's really valuable.
I mean, I have one video. It was a ClickBank product, and I ranked the guy's video that he's, one of his affiliate videos, and it makes me about $750 a month.
So wait, what is this now?
I had it was a ClickBank product.
Yeah.
And so, he had videos and stuff in his member ClickBank, affiliate pay membership site.
Yeah.
So I took one of his videos. I said, do you mind if I put this on my YouTube channel? And he let me.
This is some of his content?
Yeah, it's his video. He made the video and everything.
Is it a sales video or is it a content video?
It's like a sales video. The video's, it's a long video. It's like 10, 12 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's like one of his main sales videos.
Okay.
And so I took it and I put it on my channel, a channel I made up for it, and I ranked it. I probably put about $200 worth of links and stuff to it, and right now that makes me about last month it made me $750.
Wow. How much overall do you think it's made you?
You know, it keeps going up. So let's say it's seven. So January it was like 500. December was probably like 200-300, and I did
So
it in November.
so over $2,000 you've made with this.
Yeah.
10 to 1. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, and it keeps on going.
That's
you know.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. All right, man. Well, I got to tell you, you've been, really, really generous once again. I think that just strategy after strategy that you've introduced here has just been incredible. And I think every OMGer should just, be really appreciative. I'm appreciative of this. This is, so I would kind of call it a conspiracy. Just getting in there and really sharing the goods. This is just incredible stuff, Joe. I got to say, I'm really, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate this. It's very, very valuable.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Thanks for having me on.
Man, I appreciate it. Thanks so much, and I'll see you back inside of NHB.
All right. See ya.
See ya. All right, this is Mike Long here, and I am here with Joshua Fletcher, or Fletch. Great to have you here. I'm on the where I'm at to kind of give some context to things. I'm super, super excited for this. I'm on the OMG Machines Commission Conspiracy Forum Special Offers thread, and you've got a post on here. There's currently about 62 posts on here, and I'm going to click over and find you. And I just want to, I'm not going to read this whole thing because it would take a couple minutes, but this is exciting stuff. This is really exciting stuff. You're writing this from Starbucks came over to OMG. I know you're making a comeback of your own, and I don't want to steal your thunder, but can you give us the backstory behind what's going on here? And I know you've had a really big week, so that there's even some updates.
Yeah, for sure. Even since I wrote that post, there's been a couple more contracts come through, and the contract that I was talking about in that was actually expanded a little bit. So
Heck yeah.
My kind of backstory. I'm in Arizona. I'm actually a general contractor.
What part of Arizona are you in?
Phoenix.
Oh,
Phoenix
cool.
Metro area.
Yeah, I've lived back and forth in Scottsdale while I was working on my show, and might actually be moving out there back out there sometime soon. We'll have to hang out for some beers. Yeah,
it's cool to catch up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So essentially, I know how important getting new clients in the business is. We work in kind of a small little niche industry within construction. So we've been really, really lean for a long time, especially in the wintertime. We do like energy efficiency and comfort stuff. So when it's summertime, people give us more calls than they do in the winter. Anyway. Long story short, just because I didn't have any clients, like over the last 6 months, we really haven't had any income at all.
Wow.
And I've been kind of working to provide a few different companies that do my same kind of work, services. I'll go out and do, field work for them or some computer work on the back end. And it just doesn't pay very well. But getting new clients does. So because I kind of knew the industry, what I did was kind of went through all the training with OMG Machines and, figured out WordPress. Like I, knew a little bit about it, but I really didn't know how to set up websites properly with all the tags and keywords and, all that kind of thing. So anyway, went through all the technical training on that and then just really put together kind of a spreadsheet with kind of the traffic that was available for keywords that I knew were like money buyer keywords, people looking on the internet for specific things that we do. And then,
and a lot of these are hot button keywords because when somebody, let's be realistic. Like you're definitely in a pain industry where you're sitting around, your air conditioner breaks. You're in Phoenix. It gets up to upwards. I was there last summer. Got upwards of 115 degrees. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. That's not to get too far into it, but that's one of the keywords. I mean, if you're typing that in, you're looking for somebody to come out and fix the thing that you've got broken.
Yeah, like yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. So we, anyway, I kind of put that together and I bundled up enough of the keywords to kind of make myself feel good about the work I was going to have to put into it and kind of giving me a basis for income. And I just, essentially was, really hoping to go out and sell the dang thing to one of the customers. And on the drive over there, I was just like, actually, I've got like 4 contractors here that all want this stuff.
Yeah.
And so I kind of went into the meeting and I was like, we just talked about the numbers. The guy was like super excited about it.
Awesome.
We got to the end and he was kind of like, yeah, I think this really works. And I was like, okay, cool. What's your kind of time frame on things? And he's like, well, within the next couple weeks. And I was like, hey, that's cool. I've got some meetings with some other companies here, because I've got to present this to them as well, because I already told them I would. And they're like, oh, well, maybe we can just get you a deposit check tonight. I was like,
Awesome.
So the cool thing was, I actually had a bunch of other keyword properties that I'll be able to work with those other companies as well. And that was what the update was. I actually got that original deal. I kind of worked myself a bonus. And we're actually going just on a per lead basis. So
awesome.
I know how much traffic there is and what our conversion rates are just because I've been doing this long enough.
Sure.
So yeah, we got a situation where I'm getting $3,600 a month
nice.
with that company.
Nice.
Another grand. Yeah, another grand. On top of that, each month that we surpass a certain threshold for leads.
Nice.
And then the other company is, again, just kind of on a per lead basis, somewhere between $2,000 and $6,000 per month.
What?
There's another $500 just to kind of manage one of their properties they already have.
Wait. So that's $5,600 a month? Minimum?
Well, right now I'm sitting at $4,600 with the one company per month, and up to $6,500 per month with the other company.
So this could be worth over $10,000 per month to you.
Yeah, I did the numbers, and it was kind of fun to see. It's like $130,000. They're both 12-month deals too.
Yeah.
And they don't, I get a deposit, check to kind of get rolling on all this stuff. So I'm actually cash flow positive for right now. But I've already worked on one of the properties and got it ranked. It took like 4 weeks. So, I'm looking at about a month out, being able to get into the kind of gravy of making sure the conversions work and, starting to collect those bigger paychecks.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that's inspiring. So I'm sure that anybody watching this would want to kind of get into the fine-tuned details of your preparation for the meeting and the meeting itself without getting too much into the minutiae of the actual specific keywords.
Right.
Let's say it was, because I was just thinking about, I did a meeting with XM Radio, this was years ago, with the CEO, with the founder. It was before XM and Sirius merged. And, it was funny because I walked in the meeting and I'd never done a consulting meeting at all before. I just met him, I met the CEO on an airplane, and he was like, I want you to come in. I want you to talk to my marketing people. We need to be doing some more internet marketing. And just the night before, I looked up some keywords, just singer names, I was just trying to think like what to do. I was like, I don't know, Kelly Clarkson, whatever, whoever was big. I mean, I guess nowadays it'd be like whatever, Taylor Swift and Justin Bieber or whatever. And the vice president was really down on me. He was really negative and critical, like in this like really sneaky way where he was like, oh yeah, I know you internet marketing guys and direct marketing guys, you guys can, turn eye-dazzling profits, but it's really small scale. And I was like, it was funny because guy kind of ticked me off, I was like, guy sitting there in his suit and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, let's talk about volume. And it was like, I pulled out the whatever it was, back at the time, it was like the Overture keyword tool, and I was like, let's look up Kelly Clarkson. And it was like 500,000 searches per month. I was like, yeah, you're right. There's no volume here. So that's really that really can be because, but really bringing things into specific, and it doesn't have to be 500,000. Like when you're sitting there, when you're a restaurant owner, a lawyer, a doctor, a dentist. When every new customer walks through the door, you're a dentist. Every new customer is $3,000. You know the math. You know the metrics. You have a business built to do that. They need your help. You just got to get them in the doorway. Then suddenly 100 visitors a month is like a miracle.
Oh yeah, we're looking at like between, all of these, both of these contracts are like maybe a grand total of, it's going to be 2,000 visitors or less to all of the properties.
Right.
But the people that are typing this stuff in are actually they're looking for the service.
Right.
So it's not like they're just bouncing around.
Like by the time they get to your website, if they see a clear-cut phone number and get confidence from the look and feel of the website, they're going to they're going to give you a shot because they're sitting here thinking, my wife is screaming at me, my
Yeah.
kid's dying. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
They just got to do it.
Right. That's kind of that's how I approach the whole thing. I only went after kind of. There's some keywords out there that get a lot more traffic, but they're a little too general. And I didn't really, I might scale out to that. If it winds up being profitable, we should. But to get things started, I really just looked at people that were obviously looking for a service, and it was one that I actually have relationships with people that provide. Our company does, but quite frankly, I'm kind of tired of climbing around in attics and stuff in the summer here. So
yeah,
I figured this would be a little better way to make money on it.
Well,
and the cool thing is,
go ahead. No, please, you can preach on.
Yeah. I get talking, I kind of go.
No, I want you to. I'm happy for you. This is. I want to recognize your excellence here. You've really just done such a great job, and it can be so hard. Like people can be in that mindset of like, I climb around attics. I fix air conditioners. I don't do meetings with these big guys. Or this or that. But next thing you know, I mean, bam, you're the guy.
Yeah. And that's kind of what was cool. I did like a spreadsheet, and I took out the keywords and the websites just to kind of protect, myself and what we were going with. But I essentially kind of put just traffic estimates together. I was really, really conservative. I only used Google, knowing that there's going to be some traffic coming in from Yahoo and Bing as well.
Yeah.
And then I went on the kind of just the low end of exact match. And I kind of had watched Greg's video on his actual traffic with, going through like Market Samurai and what the exact match, traffic would be, and then his traffic, being considerably more than that just with the other keywords and things.
Yeah.
So I essentially just extrapolated that out with our conversion rate, and then I know what our the sales close rate, average sales close rate with the companies is, and then I multiplied that by what their average customer value was.
Yeah.
And so I'm walking in with a proposal for, $3,600, $4,600 a month that extrapolates out to $600,000 worth of business for them per month. And it's, it wasn't really hard to make that stretch to say, this is a great market.
Yeah, because they realize, look, if we even get a fraction of this, then we're sitting on a gold mine.
We can get a quarter of what, I'm pretty confident we can get.
Yeah.
And they're going to be, as happy as can be. So.
Well, and there's a recession. The market's down. Who knows what's going on in Washington D.C.? Who cares? I mean, I don't want to get into it, but the thing is, air conditioners still break.
Yeah.
And they still, you still got to have somebody. I mean, you're sitting there. It's 104 degrees. You've got to do something. There's not, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So these businesses are sitting there, and they don't have that outlet. Like maybe they're just relying on Yellow Pages. Who knows how they're getting their traffic, but their stats are off. And then in the meantime, somebody else is kicking their butt up and down the search engines.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's interesting. I kind of looked at the industry, and there's a few keywords that a couple of the companies are doing, fairly well with as far as the rankings go. But looking at their link profile and the actual content they have on their website, it's really thin at best. So the competition is just in the fact that they've been up and going for 12 years, 14 years, something like that. And they do actually over that time have some stuff built out. But just with what, like I said, I went ahead and took one of these properties within 4 weeks. I hit number two on Google with it, and just kind of doing the article marketing backlinks, the Web 2.0 backlinks.
Yeah, setting up your site right, interlinking.
Yeah, just setting up the site right was half of it. I took another kind of niche, and I had a buddy that is a climber, and he screwed his back up, and he had to go through this therapy, and he was just miserable. He was like laid up for 4 months before he figured out what he could do to get it right. And so, I was kind of intrigued with that, and over the course of about 6 weeks, 8 weeks, he got himself all fixed up. He went climbing yesterday. So I was like, man, I bet that would be, something that, chiropractor would want. So I worked on that specific keyword, and it was, 4 weeks, and we were number one for that one. So I'm going to go talk to the chiropractor he worked with and, do a little, and I did all these things as a lease agreement, so I actually still own the sites.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, because you really have the strength there. Now, let me ask you this. Phoenix is actually the only hot city anywhere near you, right? I mean, I understand that Scottsdale and Tucson, they're actually very, very temperate. They usually hover around 70 degrees, winter or summer.
Yeah, you never need shorts or coats.
So with that said, are you, do you have your eye on Scottsdale, Glen, what is it?
Yeah,
Mesa?
Scottsdale, Glendale, Peoria. I mean, all of these cities in the Phoenix metro area,
Yeah.
are each getting a little bit of specific traffic for that. Tucson is its own market. And not to get kind of too far ahead of myself, Vegas,
Yeah.
Albuquerque,
Yeah.
El Paso,
Sure.
San Diego.
Yeah.
They're all warm places. And the cool thing is
there's one or two cities in Texas.
yeah, just a couple. I've kind of done enough poking around. I like doing research and putting numbers together and seeing all this stuff. So I've actually got my eye on a lot of that stuff. Once this kind of gets rolling, I mean, it's kind of just the start.
It sounds to me like one of the real blockbuster, brilliant moves that you made in this case, and I really want to acknowledge this. I think that this is really brilliant. I saw this. I think you pointed it out in your blog post. You also did a follow-up email to me. Yeah. I don't know if it's actually in this blog post or not, but you pointed out to me that the numbers really scale up huge for these people in the 6 or even 7 figures. And I think it was really, I think it took a little bit of extra curiosity and focus for you to extrapolate it out, for you to do the math and multiply things out. Say, well, say you converted such and such, say we get this many visitors, say your average customer value is such and such. Then multiplying that out for people and having it be a big number that anchors that big number in their mind, and then suddenly when you say, well, listen, I'll make it rain for $4,600 a month, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I
that's
take it
exactly the way I went about it. I talked about new leads, and I didn't really specifically even talk to them about the internet. I was just like, hey, I can get you leads.
Oh, I like that.
And so we went in there and just talked about the number of leads that we, think we can get. Which again, I was so conservative just because, just to be frank with you, I'm gun shy about all this stuff, man. It's been a long time since I made good money.
Yeah.
So,
how long has it been since you made upwards of $5,000 a month?
Oh God! I mean, I've had a month here and there, maybe, a month every year for the last 2 years where we made, like $7,000. But then there would be like 5 months in a row where I made zero.
Oh my gosh!
So average out, I'm under 30,000 a year since like 2005.
Wow.
Probably.
Yeah, it's a long dry stretch.
This whole thing is just like, wow. Okay, yeah, I remember now what it feels like to have a little, optimism. But yeah, I mean, when I went in, I just essentially talked about, I knew what the value of these customers were for these businesses, and I was like, do you guys want an extra $600,000 worth of business a month? And they're like, yeah, you can do this. I was like, yeah, for hardly any money, really, and it's kind of performance guaranteed. I was confident enough in, knowing the numbers really well. That helped out a lot, to be honest. But, if for whatever reason they don't hit those targets, I don't want them to have to pay for something they're not getting. So I was able to say, hey, if we don't hit this kind of, baseline number, we can pay, a percentage of whatever we fell short of that by. So they're like, well, this is perfect.
Yeah, it's like a no-lose situation for them. Well, and now that you have the confidence of this deal, you can start making deals that have, you can make deals that are better and better for you. Now, the second and third, is it a total of 2 deals that you made this week, or a total of 3, including the original one?
I've got deals with 2 different companies, but they're actually kind of 3 separate deals. So 2 two of the deals were just leasing sites to them that I own still, that I'll do all the, work kind of in line with.
And they understand they're getting sites, or do they just understand they're getting leads?
They aren't even, one of the guys is pretty technically savvy. The other guy just wants business.
Right,
So,
that's very interesting. Like, so many people will come in the door and be like, Google, 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 links, rankings.
Yeah, they don't care. If they're getting a qualified lead, and that's the cool thing I could say, there are people looking for, and I just spelled it out for them. I gave them kind of a keyword, which is what somebody that's, doesn't know any better is typing into Google.
Right.
Hey, I need my air conditioner fixed.
Right.
And that's what these guys do. So I said, there's people looking for that. I can get them in your door for, essentially this much per lead.
So you really made it a very, very high level. Like, they probably, like, even the least technical guy sort of understands that somehow it involves the internet. But he's not even really thinking necessarily that it's Google. He's not even, because he's just not thinking about that. He's thinking about his, picking up
his business.
Yeah, thinking about taking his kids to ballet and, thinking about, but this is the reality of things. Like, people don't sit around in their lives, like, they're not going through OMG machines. They're not watching webinars. They have no idea. And so one of the things that you did that was very smart was keeping things at a very high level for a guy who wants it to be high level, and then maybe the other guy who's like a little bit more technical, then you get a little bit more into the nuts and bolts of things.
Yeah, I had the spreadsheet ready for if it went that way, and with the one customer it did.
So what was that meeting like? What was the second meeting like, and how did that go?
I just walked in, and it's a guy that I've known for about a year. And like I said, I've been doing kind of some field services work for them, and I'll invoice given week $150, $200. I'm trying to make my friggin' rent payment with that, and it just wasn't working. So I was like, we got to do something different here. Just because I kind of had a relationship, I knew that they were scaling up, they were doing really well, but they needed leads. They needed more business, and that's with local businesses that really. It makes everything go. If you've got new customers coming in the door, you can kind of figure out the, profitability or the sales structure or whatever it's going to be. But without that, you're kind of dead in the water. So essentially, I just went in. I was like, I think we can get you, an extra 100 leads a month.
And what's 100 leads a month worth to them?
With that company, 100 leads a month is going to be worth about $800,000.
Holy shit! Wow.
Yeah. So, their profit margin on that is still really strong too. When you kind of go, the weird thing, the smaller you go in construction, the bigger the profit margin, but you can get upside down if you do your stuff wrong. So, their profit on that's probably going to be somewhere between, $150,000 to $180,000. And they're spending, $5,000 to $6,000 to get that.
Wow, yeah, that's fantastic for that. All right, man. Well, I just got to say, I really appreciate your valuable time and breaking things down for us and sharing. I know it's going to be inspiring for other people. And you don't really have a sales background.
Not really. I was kind of odd job when I was going through college. I worked at Dollar Rent-A-Cars, like a counter guy trying to sell you that stinking insurance that nobody wants. That's about it.
Yeah.
Like I said, most recently I've been a construction worker.
Yeah.
And,
what's it like selling people something that they actually want?
It's fairly nice. You don't have to sell. That's what's crazy. You just walk in and be like, I can do this for you.
Do you want leads? This is really profound. If there's one takeaway for anybody watching this right now, I would say, it's tough because the idea of extrapolating out and bringing out the big numbers for people, that's big. But I wonder if it's not even more valuable that you really boil things down to, do you want leads? And you really have that focused directive because you feel it. Like, the business. Like, in fact, the money that you're not making, you're feeling that same pain that they're feeling.
I've lived it. It's easy to communicate that because, it's still, very fresh. And like, man, I wish the phone would ring.
Yeah.
Or I wish we had 3 deals going this week or something like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, Fletch. Well, man, this was awesome. I really appreciate your valuable time. I know you got stuff to attend to and more meetings to make, and I'm looking forward to hearing about your success as it expands. And I just think this is awesome. And I appreciate the comeback that you're making. It was great. Yeah, I got an email from you, come back, and I was like, yeah. I sent it on to Greg. I sent it to David Mills. They were so fired up about it. And it's just really great news. So we really appreciate it. We appreciate you. We think of Bring the Fresh as, OMG. Bring the Fresh as well, but certainly One Man Gang. We think of it as a city on a hill, and where people come together in Providence. And I don't just say that. I mean, I pray about it all the time. I think about it all the time. I thought about you after I heard from you, and I just. We're so grateful because we really only do this. We do this 50% for profit, but we also do it 50% just to enjoy public testimonials. That makes us happy. It impacts our reputation. It makes it easier for us to do business in the future to help other people. So you've really helped us. So I want to thank you for being real generous, and I think this is real high quality experience for somebody who's watching it.
I hope so. I appreciate the hard work on your guys' part putting it all together, because and that's the reason I sent you guys that kind of testimonial email back, just because I truly I bought that you guys do this. You have to do that, for profit as well as for helping your customers, and already you've helped me greatly. And that's going to let me take care of my family, which is growing this year.
I know. You have some good news. You want to share the good news?
Okay, so Monday, right? I go out and I do that first deal with that company, and I'm kind of like nervous about really making it happen, and if for a couple reasons. One of them, I was close to broke at the time, which I needed money, and then I also knew that there was a potential. That I'm going to be having a kid. My wife, that would be awkward if I were doing it. So, yeah, we actually went to the doctor's about an hour after I got done with the meeting, and I didn't really, share with her how it had gone yet, just because I wanted to, make sure everything was good. But, yeah, I got the little, ultrasound picture that shaped critter with the little heartbeat going. And my life changed. It was pretty cool, and to have that all paired up with the financial situation improving, and then the rest of this week has already gone well. I've actually made 2 sales on just my business, just from referrals on this whole thing. So
wow,
yeah, this week, I signed deals this week that could amount to $145,000 over the next 12 months.
Awesome.
So, pretty dang good week.
Man, that's a wonderful. That's wonderful. All right, well, thank you very much for your valuable time. I really appreciate it and look forward to hearing from you again in the future.
All right, God bless you, brother.
All right, God bless you too.
Thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
The organizer has ended the session, and this.
All right, hey, this is Mike Long, and I'm here with Brian. Is it Brian Halliday?
That's right. Yes, that's my name.
That's great.
Brian Halliday.
It's this is a really special one for OMGers because you're actually one of the people really to thank for these co-conspirator field trainings and field reports that we've had. And the reason why is that Greg sent me a very nice email from you when you had just landed a client for a good amount of money. And he sent it to me, and he meant to send it to David Mills, but he accidentally sent it to a fellow NHBer, to David Hood. And David saw your testimonial, and he said, well, I got one too. and he asked if I would like to interview him. And I said, well, sure. I would love to do that. And it was funny because I was thinking at the time, well, I also want to interview Brian. So I'm just now getting to interview you, and this is really cool. Brian, I also want to begin with a compliment to you because you're really one of the people who I think really helps drive the NHB Facebook group, with your questions, with your updates, and so I want to thank you for that.
Yeah, the Facebook's great. The Facebook group has been really helpful for me as well. Just in terms of mindset and motivation, it's been a good add-on, I think. Got a lot of value from it.
That's great. I'm so glad to hear that. So now in that email, I tried to find it really quickly before we began, but I couldn't. It didn't come right up. So I'll just tell you what I remember from it. I believe that you got an SEO coaching client, and it was for a good amount of money. I want to say it was for for thousands of dollars, US. I guess that what's your currency? Is it pounds? Pound sterling.
Sterling, yes. Well, the strange thing, it wasn't even an SEO client. It was a business coaching client, and the way I actually got the client was because I SEO'd my own website.
That's awesome. What did you SEO your website for?
Well, this is a real strange thing. I did a practice website. I'm also a hypnotist and a hypnotherapist.
Uh-huh.
And although I don't really want to do the hypnotherapy, I thought I would practice with a hypnotherapy site. So I ranked my site, which then became #1 for about 10 or 12 different terms.
That's great.
But the real strange thing was the client that I picked up had nothing to do with hypnotherapy. In fact, he was almost not going to phone me because of the emphasis on the hypnotherapy. He was looking for sales coaching and persuasion coaching, and I had 2 lines in my whole website that mentioned that I had a track record doing this, and it's purely based upon that he picked up the phone and called me.
That's amazing. Can you tell me what? Would it be okay with you? Can I search up your site in Google?
Yes, it's hypnotherapy in Edinburgh.co.uk, but there's a hyphen in between each word. So it's hypnotherapy in Edinburgh.co.uk.
So if I search for hypnotherapy in Edinburgh, will it show up?
Edinburgh hypnotherapist, hypnotherapy in Edinburgh, hypnotherapy Edinburgh.
I see you're right here. You're #2 when I search for hypnotherapy, and you're smart because you've got the authority listing too. So your picture shows up there really nicely. That's so amazing. So he found this site, and you used Greg's keyword tricks to rank for a number of terms, because you're saying you rank for all kinds of stuff. What else do you rank for? Hypnotherapy in Edinburgh. What else?
Hypnosis in Edinburgh, best hypnotist in Edinburgh, stop smoking hypnotherapy in Edinburgh, hypnotherapy for weight loss in Edinburgh. Really, the list goes on. If you play around it, I come up for a whole...
Yeah, I see here again.
Thing.
Yeah.
And the actual term that got me the client was something that I would never have thought of. It was, I think it was something like Sales Therapy Performance Edinburgh, and I came #1 for that.
That's
and
great.
Like I said, my site isn't really oriented towards that, but this is the really strange thing. This is the kind of work I love doing, and this is the sort of work that I used to do a lot of before the recession, and I absolutely hate doing hypnotherapy, but somehow, the real strange thing is, I've had practically no phone calls for hypnotherapy, and only a couple of clients have phoned me up through that website, but it's been the types of jobs I love doing, and they've been high-value jobs, so it's quite strange.
That is strange, but it also goes to show that, well, first of all, I want to compliment you because you made quite a smart move by just getting started, right? Yeah. I mean, that's really the big lesson here, is that instead of just sitting there saying, well, I don't know what to do, I don't know what market to be in, which I'm not mocking that. It's a very understandable feeling. Instead you just did what you could do.
Exactly. And I didn't have much resources, but that client has given me now £6,000 so far.
£6,000?
So it's about $8,000.
About $8,000. And how long is that? Is that spread out over, the last 6 months?
I've got a 6-month contract with them, but I do some telephone coaching every Friday afternoon, and I'll meet up with them occasionally as well. But I mean, it's not taking a lot of my time up. But he also wants to pay me. The real strange thing that I noticed when I started doing the OMG, it was a complete shift in mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Where last year I was out trying to work with professional golfers, and I put a lot of time into marketing, a lot of time into doing talks, and I was chasing clients. And then towards the end of the year, I got so fed up with it. I woke up one morning and I said to myself, I don't want another client.
Yeah.
And the minute I made this sort of shift, I don't know if it's a different kind of energy that I'm giving out, but I didn't even want to meet with this client. He begged me on the phone to meet him. And when I actually met up with him, I tried to put him off, and he was literally stuffing money in my pocket before I could meet him.
And over what course of time did you collect this 6,000 pounds sterling?
It was about 3 weeks after I started to rank.
Oh wow!
Which would be about January, February. I set myself this is really quite strange. I set myself a goal last year that I would either find a company or learn how to rank websites by the end of January, and this was before I even found you guys. And almost bang on the button, by the end of January, my site was ranking #1 for all these different terms, and it was about 2 or 3 weeks after that I got this client.
That's so cool. I love that, and I love that you just did it. I love that you just, because there's so much power, in being able to rank. There's so much raw value to it. David Mills and I talk about it sometimes with Greg, and there's all kinds of coaching programs out there, all kinds of training programs out there, and sometimes somebody really is just some sales expertise away from being able to make money. Sometimes they already have customers coming and they just need to sell them, and that's great. But gosh, being able to rank a website, I mean, how does that make you feel, just knowing that you just know how to do it?
Well, I think really it's been a complete game changer for me, in the sense that in the past, when I was going out trying to sell training, I would try and track down a client, I would hound them down and try and beat them into submission to do business with me. And somewhere along that process, if somebody could come in and upset that process, and I could spend weeks, maybe months, trying to track down a corporate client and get nothing at the end of it. Whereas now, I don't have any of that worry, because all I have to do is look back 2 or 3 pages and see lists and lists of people who would take the place of somebody who won't take my offer. So I don't feel the need to chase anybody anymore. In fact, I'm starting to turn the tables on them, where I tell them what the offer is, I get them excited about the potential traffic, and then I just tell them that if you don't take this, I'm going to offer this to your competitors. And that seems to have a huge impact on my mindset, to the point where I'm not chasing money now, and if anything, money is actually starting to come over in everything that I do, and money seems to be chasing me now because of that, and that's something I would never have been able to do without being part of OMG.
That's amazing. I love hearing what you're saying. I think that's really inspiring. So are you branching out and actually starting to do SEO consulting yourself now?
Well, I've sold the site already. And this is a strange thing. Again, it was purely to the shift in mindset. Like, in the past, I was quite a well-known stage hypnotist over here, and I used to do a lot of theatres and things like that. And at the moment, it's currently popular. A lot of people are going out and they're learning hypnosis, and they find out who I am, and they tend to contact me. And in the past, I ignored these people because I don't want to go out and have coffee and talk about stage hypnosis and things like that. So this one guy has been trying to contact me for quite a while through LinkedIn, and I just kept ignoring his request to become part of my network. He's a local guy who obviously just learned hypnosis. So with this change in mindset, I thought, well, let's have a look at his profile. And I found out he had a driving school. And I found out that his driving school was like 12 pages back in Google.
Huh.
So I did a keyword search, and I took a screenshot of the actual searches. And it was quite a lot. For one of the main terms, it was 1,000 exact matches.
Wow.
And 5,000 broad.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, so the driving school's quite a big market. So I put all that together with them. First of all, I allowed them into the network, and sure as exactly what I thought. The first thing he did was send me an email, ask to meet me for a coffee, so he could pick my brain about stage hypnosis. Well, in the past I would have ignored it, but this time I thought, and this kind of attitude has been developing since I've been with OMG. So I said I would be happy to meet him for a coffee, but my fee to meet him for a coffee would be £1,200.
What?
I did that, and I actually thought that...
What?
I thought that would put him off.
I would think so.
Well, this is the thing. Within 10 minutes of doing that, I got an email saying he'd be happy to pay me.
What?
He said he would be happy. This is what I mean, the thing is, right?
I love this idea, like really placing. There was really a shift in my life. I remember I was doing launches, and I was doing launches for people. This is back in like 2006, and I was just doing launch after launch, and it was weird because everyone knew that launchers were valuable. Everyone knew that I knew how to do them, but somehow it was just always a hassle. The money side of things was always a hassle. And eventually I just got sick of it. I got sick of, like, it was hard work. I felt like underappreciated. And eventually I just said, look, if you want to even have me look at your launch, you've got to write me a check for $10,000. And the first person who did that, we did a $14 million launch with them. That was the StomperNet. That's what happened. That's how me and David Mills wound up doing the StomperNet, $14 million day was, and it also got rid of some tire kickers. It got rid of some people who just didn't want to deal with it. And that's it. I just wrote a letter and I said, this is what I want. This is why. And so that's great. So he pays you £1,200.
Well, the thing was, the thing is, at the moment, I'm really keen to get a portfolio of websites.
Yeah.
And so what I basically did was I actually persuaded him. He told me he didn't have a lot of money, so I actually persuaded him that it'd be better to work on his driving school first.
I love it. That's good for
because
you.
Once he actually makes money from the driving school, I know he'll pay me for the hypnosis anyway.
Yeah, sure.
So, so basically, I pointed out the problems he had with his website, and he recently had a problem with Google, and his Google Places, he had two websites. He had a hypnosis website, and he had his driving school website, and he had the double listing. So Google kind of just put him right out of the picture.
Right.
So one of the things I was able to do really quickly with the information that I've learned with SEO was to demonstrate my competency in SEO, which is basically, it's just something I've been only doing for a couple of months. But I was able to tell him exactly where he had went wrong and what he needed to do to start ranking again. And I also told him that the best idea would be to have an EMD site, a lead generation site. So, so the idea was, I really wanted to sell him the site because that's where I want to get started. So I had a meeting with him for a coffee, and he also booked he actually booked some personal therapy with me, and he's got the money to pay for a site. So I got £250 off him for the deposit for the site.
Nice.
With the understanding that the site will cost around an additional £1,500 with an ongoing SEO contract. That was an idea I got from Gary Kuish on the group.
That's right.
And the next thing in day, the £250 was in my bank.
Yeah, that's great.
So I also put together a long-term plan where we could also rebuild his old site, and we could also rank videos, so we could start to take multiple spots on the first page.
Great.
And so he was really happy with that, because the story he told me was one of his competitors at one point was getting over 2,000 hits a month through the driving instruction. So the potential to make money and employ other driving instructors is quite big.
Yeah.
So I had another meeting with him a couple of days ago, and he's so excited about this now. He's actually demanding 2 more sites from me now. And I'm having to slow him down and say, look, let's get the first site working first.
Yeah, that's great.
So he wants to get involved in franchises further down the line, and franchise the south to other cities. Now, I don't know if it'll go that far, but potentially have another long-term client. And the first client is the same. He's in the recruitment industry, and he basically places candidates at quite high levels. And he also wants to employ people, and he wants to get me involved in that as well. So right away, potentially, I've got two long-term clients, and I've got my first sale for an OMG site as well. So that's quite good.
Oh, that's wonderful! Wow, that's really great. I love the idea of the shift in mindset and just really understanding.
It's been huge. It's huge for me. It's been huge.
Yeah, and also just literally understanding that your time is valuable, not because not because you read The Secret and The Secret told you your time is valuable, but because you know how to put a website together. Your time plus your focus plus a few dollars equals website number 1 for keyword after keyword after keyword, including videos, including local listings. You now have the skill set to dominate page 1, to make a website look great, Go ahead.
One of the things as well, which I think for the OMG, which makes this a really powerful sales tool or a powerful business to get in, is it's so easy to impress clients. You don't have to go through any long sales presentation. You don't really have to educate them. All you have to do is just show them the figures, show them the actual. If you can actually find a niche that has quite a reasonable search amount of traffic, and you put that right underneath somebody's nose and show them the reasons why they aren't getting it, they're already sold. You don't have to do any more. That's been my experience so far.
Yeah, that's really true. Well, this is just really wonderful. Do you have any message for somebody who's thinking about joining OMG or thinking about joining NHB, and things that you think that they should know to help them be successful with it?
Well, the thing is, it's just exactly what you said. Just get started on something. Get started on anything. But the one thing I've always believed in, and I've used this in the past, and I do it with my clients, is if you want to be successful at anything, you have to associate with people who are already successful. And one of the reasons why I stopped networking locally a long time ago was because the people that I was networking with were people who were all starving and were all in the same boat. And they generally meet up to comfort each other, and they generally keep everybody stuck.
Right.
And one of the reasons why I really value the Facebook group is because it allows me to actually network with people who are below me at the same level and much higher than me. So it allows me to raise my game just by associating with these people. It does affect mindset. The second thing I would say is that being able to associate with people like you and Greg is a great opportunity that shouldn't be really undervalued. And one of the things that I did right from the start is...
Go ahead.
Right, okay. The one thing I would advise anybody starting out on, and I've noticed in the group, a lot of people don't stick to this, and this is why they're getting into problems. And the number one thing I would suggest is really understand that Greg is so successful at what he does because he knows what he's doing, and he's actually laid out an amazing blueprint. And if you want to have the same success as Greg, take things really, really slowly, work your way through the original video book, and build your site step by step, really slowly, and go through the exact same order that Greg lays things out with the UAW, 3 submissions, etc. If you do exactly what Greg says, you can't fail.
Yeah, I really agree. I see, unfortunately, it's very rare that I get somebody who will write in and say that OMG didn't work. And if I ask them, it's always because they didn't do it. Like, literally, nobody actually did it, and then it didn't work. It's only people who didn't do it, and then it didn't work.
Well, I notice that some people are they're taking a little bit longer, but the reason why they're taking longer is they're jumping ahead.
Yeah.
And they're not doing things exactly in the right order, and they're missing little bits out. And it can just be really small, subtle things that make a huge difference, I think. Yeah,
I agree with that. Well, that's I think that's just extremely valuable for people. Just to know that it's not so much that you get inside and then you're gonna you will get good feelings. It will be motivating. Those things are all true, but also frickin' do what Greg says. Like, do what he says step by step. And
I don't listen to anybody else on the forum. I just go by everything Greg says because he's the guy that's done it. He's the guy that...
Yeah.
I mean, we're so lucky to be able to get access to somebody who's done what he's done.
Yeah. Yeah, and he just does SEO, whatever it is, 12 hours a day. He just does it, just day after day. And that's the way that OMG is set up. You know, we didn't set Greg up to have to be... He doesn't have to network with other gurus. He doesn't have to... Like, all he does is SEO himself on his own business and then help other people like you who are in the NHB group, and that's all he does with his work hours. So his work hours wind up being essentially 100% SEO. He's either doing SEO himself, which is the main course, or spending a few hours a day helping other people SEO, which of course makes him better at SEO, either creating training videos or examples or answering specific questions point by point, office hours. What do you think of the office hours, by the way?
I think the office hours are brilliant, especially at the beginning. I mean, what I found with me personally was probably like the majority of people, it's the really simple questions once they're answered have the most have the huge impact. And to have the office hours and also have access to Greg just to answer simple questions has been it's been really big, huge. I would never have got this far if I hadn't done the actual coaching program. And the actual coaching program itself has just been put together so well that, I mean, you and Greg have a real talent for putting information down in such a way that again, if people do take their time and absorb it really slowly, you can't fail to get the results that you're looking for.
Well, Greg and I have a secret hack ourselves. We do work hard, and I think that we're both quite talented. But we have, David Mills really plans it for us, and we really let him plan it. We really work with him, and he's just so brilliant at it. And David wrote the Commission Conspiracy Path, and I think that anyone who reads that path will kind of recognize the David's particular brilliance when it comes to that. So that's not necessarily enough. You saying that in my mind is automatically certainly a testimonial to me and to Greg and to the wonderful. We really have a wonderful culture, in our group. So it's really a testimony to everybody, but it's kind of especially a testimony to the architect of NHB. The person who first envisioned it was David Mills. He was the person who thought of the idea of NHB in the first place and who structured it, who structured the office hours, who structured the training. The Facebook group, the video training inside of it, really worked with me and Greg in detail on the lessons to make sure that the lessons are just spot on, that they're updated. He's the one who created the membership area, who updates the videos. So he's really, it's really a three-man gang, I guess.
I guess I didn't mention David is because he doesn't face the group. We don't see him, so
yeah.
We tend to forget that he's in the background. But yeah, I mean, he's done an absolutely fantastic job on that side. Everything is just so easy to use.
Oh, I love that. I love hearing you say that. Well, this is this is all music to my ears, and this is a real pick me up today. Not that I was down; I was actually feeling great. But I was actually creating training while I was talking to you. I was writing the Path Part 2. And I was just thinking about, some of the struggles that I've had in business and some of the triumphs I've had in business. I've really been focused on it. So it's one of the things I was struck with today. There's a particularly successful business, the Area 51 lifestyle business that I'm writing about right now. It really turned out particularly successful, but there were so many points at it that it really looked. It could look like a failure. Ultimately it's $1 million business. But so many times the answers were not obvious. So many times there were so many closed doors, and only one open door. And we had to get to that one open door. And I love how you found your open door with just taking a site and just getting it ranked, just getting it out there. And go ahead.
There's another story about, if you've got the time, just a quick
story
just to show you what I have done recently. Again, I mean, it could be it might be that I might be getting my first client through LinkedIn again. I mean, I'm finding these clients without leaving my house. That's the other thing that's quite powerful about this. I started working on a personal injury lawyer website, and
nice.
And then
I'm doing that too. That's funny.
Yeah, well, I seen it was at your Seattle. Was it the Seattle one?
Yeah, we also have one in Charlottesville.
Charlottesville, yeah, that's
yeah.
I had a look at that the other day, and it really helped me just to see what you had done.
Nice.
But what I did was I actually remember a number of. This is a good bit of advice for some people as well. If you're join LinkedIn, if you're not already in it, and start to join some of the local online networking groups, because you get invited to different events. And so I noticed that one of the big legal companies locally had a seminar on the legal side of sports. It was to help sports clubs prevent getting sued for personal injury, etc. And the personal injury lawyer was going to be there. So I just emailed them and asked them for a place. And it's quite strange. So what I basically did, again, I found out that they weren't ranking for any of the terms. They weren't anywhere to be seen for any of the personal injury terms. And again, I did the same thing. Took a screenshot of the actual Google keyword results, which were quite impressive, and made a number of copies and went along to the seminar. And as soon as I was in the door, I just grabbed hold of the lawyer, found out who she was, and right away, it was pretty obvious they didn't have a clue. Just by showing her the figures, she was completely blown away.
Yeah, because she's a lawyer. She doesn't know how many people are searching for that. I mean, it sounds good to rank for it, but what does it mean?
Exactly. Now, the thing was, in this room, it wasn't just personal injury. There was the people from the real estate department, people from different kinds of insurances, etc. And the guy from real estate came up and asked me, "Do you know anything about real estate?" Too. So it was like, and there was no cold calling, there was no picking up the phone, there was nothing like that.
Yeah.
It was just being invited along to the seminar, and this is all through LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And I think LinkedIn is a great way to spot opportunities.
Yeah.
If you just think outside the box.
Tony Husted from NHB, he's also landed a number of clients through LinkedIn. So I think you're really onto something with that. I mean, I'll tell you one thing that I've learned about marketing and about sales. Let's imagine that there's 10 sales out there for you to make, 10 high dollar sales. If it might be that you could make, say 3 or 5 of those sales face-to-face, person-to-person, and then the rest of the sales might be available just through your website where they just pick up the phone, call you, and order. So if you imagine it that way. But the funny thing is, if you don't do those 3 to 5 personal sales, then it's a weird effect, but all the sales go away. And it's a weird thing to say. It's a little hard for me to explain why this is. I first observed it in my magic business, where me and David Mills were teaching a magic strategy course, and I would go online to play magic just to create training videos, and I would just put like a little thing in my profile saying, "Hey, I've got a course," and people would ask me about that course, and if I would sell a person that day, and really selling them just meant taking the time just to talk to them and explain what's there and ask them to buy it. If I'd make a sale, I would make several sales that day. And every time I turned my nose up at it, every time I didn't do it, like that same day I would have no sales. And again, it could really seem like, that's such a small sample. So, okay, that's fine. But it's happened again and again and again. Every industry that I go to, relationship advice, make money online, gold, everywhere. When someone's curious, they email me. If I talk back to them and help sell them on something, then not only do they buy, which is great, but other people buy it. And there's obvious reasons for that. One is that you get better at selling. You believe in your product more. There's word of mouth. All these things matter, but I do think that there's a certain element of the law of attraction there, where,
yeah, definitely.
If you care about it, I've said this before, but I made a slight modification to it. I say people respect what you inspect, but now I say people respect what you inspect, including you. So if you see yourself caring about getting clients, you will get clients, right? Like because you see yourself doing it, and so your personal resources get attuned to that, right? Your awareness gets opened up to it. Your personal devices, your energy, whatever it is that you have to bring to bear on it expands.
I mean, I actually one of the businesses I had and still do is I actually do teach persuasion techniques. And I've worked with all different kinds of salespeople and consultants. And I personally believe that the very persuasion at the very basic level is just 2 people, one sends energy, one person receives the energy, and they make their decision based upon how they feel about you and your products. And so if you feel anxious or you feel down, the person at the other end will have they'll pick up on the same feeling and they'll associate to you in your products. So when you feel really good, they feel good, and people buy.
Yeah.
Then
I
think it's as simple as that.
Yeah, I read a book by one of the top trial lawyers of all time. One of the top, he goes to court and argues. His name is Jerry Spence. He's very, very famous top level lawyer, and he says that everything that he knows about persuasion he learned from his dog. Like his dog just walks up to him and sticks his paw in his lap, because he wants to go out for a walk or for food, and that's it. He just comes up and he just plainly asks for what he wants, and that's it. And he does the same thing when he's asking, in a court, if he's asking for a verdict, if he's asking for, money from jurors, he asks for it. He just says, "Yeah, give my client $1 million. They deserve it."
There's also something that I've discovered, and it's too soon to see if it's going to be long term. But when I joined the OMG, it was like a light switch in my head that basically overnight I stopped chasing clients completely. In fact, initially I just wanted to get absorbed in the technical side, and I didn't want to deal with any clients from other types of business. But when that client came through the website that had been ranked, it was almost like I didn't actually want to meet him because I was too absorbed in learning these new skills, and it was almost like I actually without realising it, I put obstacles in front of him to make it difficult to do business with me. And the more obstacles I put in front of these clients that were coming in the way rather than me chasing, the more they seem to want to do business with me. And it's been the same with the driving school, where initially he wanted to meet me for a coffee, and I asked him for £1,200.
Yeah.
And I thought that would have got rid of him, but in actual fact, it actually made him even more determined to meet me.
Yeah.
And and what I found is, where there's been a change in my mindset and my approaches, I actually make it difficult for people to do business with me now. I don't show that I'm too keen, and I actually almost tell them to go away at the beginning. And I've done this in the past purely by mistake, and every time I've done it, I find that people hunt you down and they literally force you to take their money off them.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping that this is something I can build up and scale up.
Well, and I think that one of the things that I've learned is that a high quality client is worth so much more. Not that they're high quality in terms of their moral worth or their value to God or anything like that. It's as we're recording this, it's Good Friday, and I'm certainly thinking about Jesus and all these kinds of things. But it's not about that. What I mean is, are they high caliber in their business? Are they going to treat you well? And a good client is worth not even worth many bad clients, but like really bad clients have negative value. Even if you get some money from them, they drag you down, they distract you, they waste your time. You get tied up in their bad feelings, and people will ask me like, well, what about if I don't get the deal? And I say, well, then you'll have more time on your hands. That's great, right? Like think about it, right? Like if you if you don't get the bad deal, then you have more time to build up your skills or to build up your rankings or go read a good book. That's just the bottom line. And nowadays I don't almost take on. We take on very, very few projects at this point. We're very, very selective. I'm fast to lose a client or a partner and slow to gain one, if that makes sense. I'm eager to so I think that there's some real value to what you're saying, and that you're on a good track with that. And Brian, I just want to thank you sincerely. Like this has been really, really great. I think you've been somebody different than when we've been doing these co-conspirators reports. We've had such a wonderful range of people, but you're really coming from a great place, and I think that this was valuable in a very different way. Every one of these co-conspirators field trainings and field reports have been different, and they've taught me something. And of course, it's very nice for me to see you on your path to inevitable success and to see you gaining. And so I want to thank you for this.
Yeah, and I want to thank you for OMG, because it has been a complete game changer for me. It's completely opened up a new world to me. And I'm actually really looking forward to the next 6 months instead of dreading them. I was in a really bad place last year, and OMG has really helped lift me out of that place. I'm
so glad to hear that, Brian. All right, well, thank you very much, and I will see you inside of NHB.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Cheers. Bye. Bye. Okay. Hey, Adam, it's Mike. How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, it does.
All right, great. That's a I love Osaka myself. I'm a big fan. Let me pull up the email I had. It was pretty cool from Greg that kind of prompted me. Now, I always loved your story going all the way back because you had that really cool story that all started with you you having made your first, like, what was it? You made like your first $1,000 with just on your iPhone, which is crazy.
Yeah, on my iPhone. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was cool. I remember getting a picture from you. I love these kind of progressional, you know, when we see your progress, when we see you, you know, like tracking people along, because that's how it started with Greg. You know, the first thing I heard from Greg, you know, he had bought one of my introductory SEO products, and I got a message from him that he had made. I think it was his first $16,000 at the time. It was pretty dramatic, and I really got to follow along with him. I wound up on the phone with him, much like you and I are today. And then, you know, he just progressed and progressed. So with you, the first time I heard, and you know, Greg's real proud of your progress. We actually, I think, even mentioned your first $1,000 in one of our dispatches because it was so dramatic from your iPhone. And then here you are today. Now you've made, is it correct, like over $20,000?
Yeah, that's correct.
That's awesome. Well, can you tell us, like, first of all, how did you make $1,000 from your just from your iPhone? I've always been curious about that. And then how have you progressed?
Oh, well, let's see. Well, I didn't actually have a physical internet connection, and if I got on the computer, it was always too slow.
Yeah.
So what I'd done was I actually conjugated with one of my friends who was starting her business.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll build your website for you, and yeah, so it just went from there.
Oh, that's great. And so what kind of a business was he starting?
Pressure cleaning business.
What cleaning business?
Pressure, like pressure washing.
Oh, a pressure washing business. That's great.
Yes.
And so you put together a website from him?
Yeah,
was he happy with the website?
Yeah, he was quite wrapped with the website.
Oh, that's
He
great.
was even more wrapped when I told him I'd done it off my phone.
That's really awesome. So you actually just got WordPress and installed it on your phone and just built it that way?
Yes, and then for my link building and all that, I actually got myself a VPS, and then I got myself RDP software on my phone, so I could actually do remote desktop off my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's like it was fun.
That really is fun. Okay, so how did you expand
I
things?
outsourced most of my work as well, only because it's kind of hard to type off the phone and.
Yeah, no, I imagine.
Yeah.
Well, now at this point you
good.
do, but at this point you do have an internet connection. Is that correct?
But yeah, got his site to. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Maybe we should try again. I'll call you right back.
Hello.
Hey there. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, great. So then how did it expand to now you've made $20,000, and this is also kind of exciting because you just have a newborn child, so this must be great for your family to be making some money.
It's good. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I was always on a decent paying job anyway, so
yeah,
so money was never really a problem.
That's great. So how did you ramp things up to this $20,000 level? What's that been like? What have you done?
Well, I started a SEO business, and my friend whose website I got ranked off my phone, he actually went out and started making sales for me through word of mouth.
Yeah.
And they just came in, and I've got about 15 clients at the moment.
Holy cow!
And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's not bad. So.
And you made $20,150. That's what it said here. That's awesome, dude. I think that's so cool. And so a lot of it has been through word of mouth, then.
Yes, a lot of it's been through word of mouth.
Have you been able to rank your friend's website yet, or is it still just coming up in the rankings?
You should be able to search pressure cleaning Gold Coast, and you should be number one.
Oh wow, that's awesome! I'm going to Google right now. So I'll type in pressure cleaning Gold Coast.
Yeah, it should be number one.
Okay, is this what's the name of the site?
Underpressuretc.com.au.
Under Pressure. Let's see. I wonder if I have to go to the Australian.
Yeah, you might have to.
So if I go to google.com, let's see, google.com / dot .au. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. I might be able to just copy and paste this for you.
Oh, okay, great. All right, let's see that.
But if your browser's anything like mine, it sort of just redirects you straight back to.
Okay, great. So let me grab the listing that you just sent me. Let's see. All right, so I'll pull that up, and then what's the name of the site?
Underpressuretc.com.au.
Yeah,
I've
got you here.
Match, so.
Yeah, for me it's saying number 3, but that's still terrific. Obviously, it's number 3 and it's above the local listings. And then for you, it's showing number 1.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So and then obviously that's been something that's been able to helped him get traffic and visitors to his website.
He got about $15,000 worth of sales this week.
Oh,
so
this week?
All right.
Oh my goodness! From the site?
Yes, from this site.
That's amazing. So call Andy, free quotes, and you've got his phone number here, and this site is just flat out working.
Yeah. I'm still like optimizing it for him and everything, but it's working at the moment, and he's happy and I'm happy. So.
Oh yeah! Holy cow! I mean that's amazing. I mean that's just an awesome result. Wow.
Yeah, that site was how it is now. Was done off the phone, so.
That's amazing. That's just so cool. I love it. What template did you use?
I actually have an account with Elegant Themes. It's the Nimble template.
The Nimble template. That's so funny. That's great. You just did it, boom, boom, off your phone, and then here it is, and it's working for him. It's it's clean, it's clear, and there you go. Well, this is really cool, and you're just wrapping things up from here. Now, in terms of acquiring clients. Like, did you get all 15 of your clients through referrals, or have you gotten them through a number of different ways?
I've actually gone cold calling as well. So I just
how has that gone? Can you tell me about one of your successful cold call situations?
I walked into a mirror shop, and he was actually looking up at the time SEO people to build a website for him.
Yeah,
and. Yeah, I got him then and there. So
that's awesome. That's just awesome.
Good. So what I do for him is I give him a free briefing. I've actually got a list of questions I ask them.
What are some of the questions that you ask?
Hold on, I'll open it for you.